this is how it happened. Like, I want to start a band. We're going to call it Floorpunch. Zeus I was like within an earshot. I was like, I'll play. I had known Mike and Mark from the town that my dad lived in. And they were like, everyone was like basically in an earshot. And like, oh, we need another guitar player. I was like, oh yeah, or, we got Bill or this. And that was it. We were practicing 2 months later.
And it's because you were all so miserable at this Snapcase Bloodlet Donuts show?
Yeah, I think that was like the tide that like that broke us.
Hello, welcome. It's HardLore time. How you doing, Bo?
I'm doing great, Colin. I did homework for this, and I'm very excited.
We've been working overtime for the better part of a year to make this episode happen, and it's finally here. We're ready. We have an incredible guest today.
Who do we got?
This is a man we talk about often on the show. He's made a few small guest appearances, but this is his first full-fledged episode. A man always on our very short list of the greatest straight edge frontmen in history. Everyone, please welcome, from Floorpunch, Mark Porter.
Thank you to have me. I'm honored to be here, and there was very kind words.
All right.
They're factual words.
Thank you so much.
Good to informally meet you.
Yeah, I think we've crossed paths at a couple shows before.
We have, for sure. I was wearing a baby blue tee at the This Is Hardcore 2009, I think. The hottest room I've ever been in my life when Floorpunch played.
Was that was
Starland Ballroom.
Yeah.
We're also all straight edge, so we do meet at the barbecue.
Yeah, the yearly.
The quarterly straight edge barbecue review.
He's always got a line, though, so I've never gotten up to the front.
Yeah, that's true. As I said earlier, we've been looking forward to this for a better part of a year. Tried to make it happen in person, but figured that with time being a factor and the book going on, selling out left and right, that this was the best way to make it happen. When I talk about the book, I'm of course talking about Floorpunch, no exceptions. This is one of the best physical documentations of hardcore music ever made, put together by the Shining Life press team. Can't recommend it enough if you don't already own a copy. Is this something that they approached you guys with? Whose idea was this?
They did. They did approach us, I would say, prior to early 2020, late 2019. That's how long it took for this to come out.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely prior to COVID, I know for a fact. And but that's nothing. Those guys just leave no stone unturned. I mean, even now, like there's pictures showing up for later pressings and stuff. Like people like submitting stuff they found. Like there was a wild story that just happened like in the last few weeks. A girl, Jessica Humphrey, who was from Virginia Beach, who dated Timmy, Blade Crasher. She had a storage unit that was broken into it when she was living in Brooklyn years ago.
Wow.
So some Brandon Martinez, the Turnstile roadie, hits me up. He's like, yo, my boy is at this like consignment shop and someone brought in a box of pictures and there's Floorpunch pictures. They were stolen from her storage unit.
Holy fuck.
Oh.
Send them over to John. There was a picture of like from Timmy's prom that I sent to her. Like, this is crazy. Like, look at this. And she's like, where did you get that? I was like, well, this guy has it at this consignment or like, retro kind of store in Brooklyn. And I don't know if she'd gotten it back yet, but they definitely put them in touch with each other. And she was trying to get her stuff back. The
book pretty much stops at 2000.
As it should.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't do anything for 7 years. We, as always being like a self-deprecating fan of my band, anyone will tell you that was close to us was my big. Well, do you think they'll like us? Is anyone going to mosh?
Is anyone going to mosh? Yeah.
That was like always the quote from the first show was like everybody in attendance was like, why did Porter just ask me if I'm going to mosh?
Yeah, because what's worse than seeing a band that no one's into? You know what I mean? So
literally nothing. What's worse than playing a show and no one's moshing?
I can't think of it.
Dude, you knew show one.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks is that.
Yes. Yeah. Without ever being in a band before.
Yeah.
Like I knew what, we had like a plan. We wanted to stick to it and hopefully it would work. And luckily for us, it did,
Wow.
Amen. Did it ever. Basically, this book is going to be the outline for this episode.
Right.
We can't cover everything because the book already did. If you don't have it, I have this extra copy. I have a sealed extra copy of the first edition. I'm going to give it away to somebody on our Patreon. So one random Patreon member is getting this book.
Yep.
But for those who don't have the book, for those who have the book, we're going to go in a little bit of detail, a little more detail about certain aspects of that. And the book opens with a foreword from Brett Beach that I think is the perfect place to start this conversation.
First of all, I want to shout out Brett, the guys from Shining Life, John and Zach, putting all the time and effort into it, because none of us ever would have did anything like this.
Yeah.
So them doing it, I think it's really cool. And, to be honest, I still haven't read it. I kind of I looked at what the haters said because I wanted to see where that was going. But other than that, I'm just saving it, because I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I'm really weird about core memories. Like when Judge came around, I didn't want to see them because I have those core memories from the video shoot, from other shows where I was like, it was perfect. Yeah. I just didn't want to taint what I remembered. Yeah. And even now, it just came back with Oasis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I saw Oasis. My wife said we saw Oasis 5 times. We saw them at like the Wetlands, like a 300 cap venue. I saw them at Roseland. I saw them in, arenas. And I was like, do I even want to go? Like, I had this core memory of them being perfect. But you know what? I'm glad I did because they were amazing.
It was amazing.
I do the same thing, though. I've seen a couple bands do like the records, and I just kind of cross them off a list. I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to keep. I do the same exact thing. I feel the same way.
The last time I saw Slayer, they only played first 4 albums.
Why do you ever need to see it?
I'm good.
I have an amazing Slayer story if you want me to tell it real quick.
I want to hear your Slayer story, and then let's get into Floorpunch.
So this is early, maybe late 95, early 95, definitely 96 at the latest. So I go to see Slayer with Tim McMahon from Mouthpiece, and maybe Jeff TDT, who is, one of my oldest friends from hardcore, rolled everywhere together, Floorpunch roadie, made all our merch. And we go to see Slayer, and they open up with Hell Awaits. So it's at the Roseland, which is like maybe 1,500 cap venue. I forget, maybe less. Okay. So the first note, I just jump on TDT's back, and he just battering rams through the crowd. So within like 2 seconds of that, I'm completely getting jumped. Like it's like an actual boot party, like metalheads just stomping me out. So Jeff rescues me, like mosh out of there. Like I get out of there. I didn't get beat up, people are just kicking themselves, I'm covered up. So I'm moshing. That's not even the good part of the story. So fast forward, maybe like, I don't know, Jesus Saves or one of these other tremendous songs. And I just see bodies just dropping. And I'm like, what is going on? So I kind of mosh over to the middle, and I'm like, there's Kev One, Kev One bulldoze.
Holy shit.
Of course.
Amazing.
Just dropping metalheads. So I kind of walk, I'm like, yo, what's up? And he's like, yo, check this out. He has T-shirts around his knuckles. And he just removes the T-shirt, and there's chains. Rest in peace, Kev One.
Rest in peace, dude.
Another core.
That's
core
a guy.
Memory.
Dude, that's unbelievable.
Wow.
I'm out of there if he's in there,
Brett Beach has an amazing story that when we were on tour, AF was just starting to come around. Remember, like, not come around, obviously, but they started playing show. They did like, little bits and pieces of Chuck Val benefit and stuff like that. Right. So they're playing the show at Manville Elks. And Brett tells the story so much more eloquent. And he's like a real historian where my brain is just shot. And I wasn't even there, but they said they opened up with Victim in Pain. And Kev One is like one of his first shows out of jail and proceeded to break someone's nose, broke another kid's thumb, all in about 2 seconds. That dude
that's a fast song.
Yeah, he was a maniac mosher, but that's my core memories with Slayer.
That's a great memory. Brett Beach, this quote, here we go. To know Floorpunch, you have to know New Jersey and what the hardcore scene was like in the early 90s. Floorpunch was a product of that time and place. The previous generation had abandoned the scene, and we were left holding the bag. A lot of people sold out, grew up, quit on hardcore, and quit on straight edge. There was an entire generation who had just missed the glory days, who had to do it themselves and make their own glory days. And thus we begin the tale of Floorpunch. Tell me about New Jersey hardcore in the late 80s and early 90s through your eyes.
So I was fortunate enough to have the bass player. What did Jim do? Jim Norton, I think, played bass in Crucial Youth.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He lived 3 houses away from me. He also sang in a punk band. Oh no, he didn't sing. I'm sorry. Another kid named Mark sang. He played an instrument in another punk band called the Shock Mommies. So I had like a little built-in scene in my small town that's a square mile. So I had him, you know, he was an introduction. I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but these are like my core people, right?
Yeah,
Jim Norton, skating, surfing, bodyboarding, growing up a couple blocks from the beach, right? Alternative culture getting introduced.
Yeah.
Meeting Brett Beach, becoming straight edge in 1987. As my kids now, I have a 16-year-old, a 20-year-old, and 11-year-old. And when they my middle daughter goes out and she'll do whatever, she's 16. And I'm like, I was already straight edge for 2 years at this point. And they can't even fathom that.
Yeah.
But back to like the 80s, Jersey was crazy. It was a great scene. We had a lot of smaller hardcore bands like On Top, Stand Back, React, all like a core shore scene. But we also, lurking in the background, we had Underdog. You know what I mean? I saw Underdog in 1987, one of my first shows at like a skate aid benefit for like a ramp half pipe. They played a show at a place called the High Tide Cafe. And I was there purely as a skater. But I happened to catch Underdog. And, we were fortunate enough to have that.
And they were there as skaters too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Russ is a ripper.
Is the guy.
Yeah. And in my little circle, my little town, I had a best friend, skating. I meet him. We just immediately click. He was an edge, but like into punk, had a Cryptic Slaughter jean jacket on, became friendly. His brother was a little older and they were friends with skinheads, like real skinheads, like Oxbloods, Freds, going to the city, hanging out at the White House in Greenpoint, little sketchy. YDL lived there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys, T, who's just an amazing guy, he roadied for Agnostic Front in 1986. Went to LA, they played out there, like the bigger shows, stayed out there and became like a suicidal.
Right.
Came back to the shore. And I remember like you have these core memories. And if I'm going off on a tangent, I apologize, but these are the things that molded me. Like core memory of T. Boots, braces, Oxbloods, no shirt, walking with a cane. I'm just hanging out with the skateboard in the park and he's just hitting bees out of the sky with his cane. And these are just these scary dudes. Already have tattoos. Right. You know what I mean? But these are like my core introductions.
Right.
And I was very fortunate, with the Jersey Shore having a pretty good scene. A 55-minute train ride from New York City.
Right.
City Gardens. Every touring band went there, from De La Soul to the Descendants to I saw Danzig's first show there as Danzig.
So that is a note that I had. Was that his first show at that venue or first show ever as Danzig?
I want to say it was his first show as Danzig.
Wow.
So we can I think I've researched it before, and I think it's true. It was Guar, Danzig, and Heathen's Rage.
So this is post Sam Hain. What is he playing first album stuff, or is he playing Sam Hain stuff too?
Couldn't even tell you. February of '88. I think he covered a few. I think he did cover a few Misfit songs.
Probably Death Comes Ripping and Who Killed Marilyn. Yeah.
That's what those. I remember the covers, and I remember it being packed.
That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
I really like your very quick explanation of becoming straight edge. In the book, you say, some kids around me were straight edge. I listened to Youth of Today, Can't Close My Eyes, and then I was straight edge, basically. And here we are 35 years later.
Yeah, I mean, that was it. I grew up with a stepfather who was a drinker, never really got his shit together. We've made our peace like later on and we're cool. But, it was tough with him. He was part of the reason I really stopped drinking. Plus, hanging out with some bad dudes, like 12, 13, I was drinking, coming home, falling into stuff. And it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? I met like a core group of straight edge kids and it just clicked, and it's been 87, it's 38 years almost. And I never once even thought about breaking edge or whatever, sometimes I do have this weird nightmare and I swear, I feel like it's happened a couple times. Like, wait, did I drink then? And it's not true, but it's corny, but
I mean, it's been your whole life at this point.
Well, based on some of the stories in this book, it would make a lot more sense if you had been,
Yeah.
some of them.
Yeah.
Tell me about, so you, before Floorpunch, long before you're ever thinking about starting a band, you're Mark Porter, local mosher around town. You're floor punching in other ways. What's going on? What is moshing like? And it's because we hear a lot about like the evolution of the spin kick in real time, the evolution of the karate stuff in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Is the floor punch a thing immediately as you're getting into hardcore?
It's so crazy that like, I'm getting like goosebumps thinking about this because I'm having this memory. So we had a venue in a town called Rumson, New Jersey, a very well-to-do town, like richer than rich, like top 10 richest towns in Jersey. There was a church there, and in the basement, they had a little, no stage. They would have local bands play. They would have, normal kid stuff, but someone, I don't know who, was booking shows there. I can remember the first time I saw someone actually floor punch. Like I saw slamming, like circle pitting.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like skipping, like, I saw someone the first time ever floor punch, and I was like, holy shit. His name was Tom, and we literally called him the football skin because it looked like he was just hiking a football. We didn't know what he was doing.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
And so I believe the show was Vision, Ripping Corpse, and a band called Right Track, which before that were called Avenel Kids. I think he rolled down with Avenel Kids. So shout out to Tom. His last name may come to me throughout this, but he was the first. I saw it real time.
Wonder where he got it from. What inspires one?
That I couldn't tell you, but I know for our scene, like that was the first time we saw it.
Unbelievable. And you immortalized it,
Yeah. And then fast forward like a year and a half later, seeing Breakdown. And I remember just like surveying like my surroundings, and all you saw was everyone like that. That's all you saw. Like you didn't see anyone standing up. It was just
wildfire, dude.
It spread like wildfire. It did.
I had a question. So you mentioned right in the beginning your Aunt Carol, who was kind of a catalyst for you. She was living or had lived in the Lower East Side. She was a bit of a punk herself.
Yeah, I was going to get to her too. So yes, my mother's sister, dyed black hair, black Ray-Bans, black leather jacket, black jeans, cool. Engineer boots, living on the Lower East Side, like battled her demons. Like, she had, addiction issues, like living there, but she hung out with like at CB's and like was friends with Gestapo. Her name was Carol Reardon. Yeah. And so she played in a band. Like I remember having a demo tape. It was just like a noise. She described it as noise. They were called The Phantom. Now I've never seen anything from them, but I remember they had a demo tape. She gave it to me. But the first few records she gave me were definitely, I know one for a fact was Sex Pistols' Who Killed Bambi.
Right.
Maybe a Wipers LP, and definitely one of the Buzzcocks LP. One of the LPs. Hands down, those are the first three. Maybe, you know what? I know another one because I still have it. A Proletariat 7-inch.
Whoa.
I mean, I can't even tell you what Proletariat sound like now.
Yeah,
but I remember
no
it was a two song single, and I think I still have it.
Wow.
Yeah, but she was alternative. And, that was pretty much it, though, because she was, she's probably like 16 years old and wanted nothing to do with me. She's probably 28. I'm 12, 13. So she was like, here, get out of here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a long relationship. Obviously we were family and we'd see each other all the time. But like that was like her introduction. She's like, go figure it out yourself. You know what I mean?
I got you. Speaking of possibly still having that record, do you still have Greg Ginn's autograph?
I don't. And I looked. And I'll tell you, so this is too funny. Like my mom had this friend who was well-to-do, married, very successful. So she was always like picking up projects. So one of her projects was music producer for salsa. So she had this guy named, I'll remember this is 30 years ago. This is 40 years ago, named Kiko Menendez. Like she was producing this guy's records. So you guys are musicians. In the 40s on the West Side, there was a music store called Manny's. I don't know if it's still there today, but it was like a major, like almost like Guitar Center, but like family owned,
local,
huge, like passing through. So I'm in there. She's getting like a mic for like a recording session. So she's in there for a music, getting this like a mic for a session. And she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Mark, there's a band over there. You should go see who they are." And I was like, "Okay." I mean, I didn't know. I'm probably like, I don't even know, somewhere between the age of 12 and 14. I mean, it probably was 1986, so I was 13.
Mhm.
And I found out it's Black Flag. He writes, little piece of paper, Greg Ginn, gone, and the Black Flag bars. So I proceed to go to Tower Records, and the first cassette I buy is Loose Nut.
Yeah.
So I had to hear Black Flag,
Sure.
So that
Which
like
is-
time frame's a little. I'm not sure where that fits in my musical journey, but it's definitely
Sure.
very early on.
What'd you think of Loose Nut? What'd you think of Black Flag?
I mean, obviously, I liked other records later as I
Yeah.
discovered more, like Damage and stuff like that. But Loose Nut's cool. I mean, like I still know all the songs because the first tape I had of theirs. You know what I mean?
There we go.
Yeah.
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 In our 80s bracket, best 80s hardcore band ever, Warzone beat Black Flag. How do you feel about that?
That's bananas. I mean, but even though is Black Flag, it's like punk hardcore, right? Is that
but
it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's like whole genre defining though, you know?
yes, and it is. It's not like punk like the Dead Kennedys is punk or like
Right.
GBH, but it is definitely punk. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't have Warzone beating them because I like Warzone, but I'm really only like a 7-inch and Don't Forget the Struggle kind of guy.
What
Even
do
though
you need?
even Open Your Eyes, I'm like, whatever.
You don't like that third one with the fake drums?
the bullet holes? Is that the one with the bullet one? No,
No, that's yeah, the self-titled.
I don't think I can name one song.
It's crazy. It's wild stuff. So straight edge is this ever evolving concept since its inception. I'm wondering how the concept of the edge break had to exist at some point. How did teenage Porter react to Friends breaking edge before Floorpunch? Because I know
Yeah.
how you reacted post Floorpunch.
Right.
Well,
Right.
my best friend Steve, who a lot of the Floorpunch lyrics are about,
Right.
he got a Notre Dame X'd up fighting Irish guy with 88 next to it. And the joke was Steve broke edge before the ink even dried.
Okay, there it is.
So he was broken edge definitely by 91.
So years later, you're like, I gotta write about that.
Yeah, because,
You gotta bust the ball.
Steve is like, yeah, I got to break balls. And he was my best man at my wedding, still one of my best friends, but it was weird for a little period of time. Like he thought I would care. And, friendship is friendship. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like if you have a relationship built on that and like you're in like a straight edge crew, like Salt Lake City or something, like, whatever it may be, that's a little different. Like if your friendship is based and like founded on being straight edge. But to me, it was like a little strange for a while. But, I definitely saw, other than Brett, and like, well, Zeus I didn't meet later on. He's been straight edge for a very long time. Brett has been straight edge as long, if not longer than me, because I don't even know if he ever really drank,
Mm.
But yeah, after a while, you just get to like, you're so used to it. It doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? Like, like the whole wave of like, even like Gorilla guys, you know what I mean? Who like broke edge and like, you think to yourself, all right, you're in late 30s, why you break edge now? You know what I mean? Like you made
That's
it this
what
far.
I'm
Like I was always like, I went through college, I played sports in college, hung out with like jocks. I made it through all that. Like the rest is just, I was on the commodity floor, like literally Wolf of Wall Street shit going on all around me. And I never broke edge. Like, so
Cigars all day, getting lit up.
cocaine, cigar,
Yeah.
whatever, like if I can make it through that, like the rest of life is just a piece of cake,
100%. And a
Yeah.
couple edge breaks can like rupture a local scene, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, generally, because you very rarely, as like a younger dude, a lot of times when you're breaking edge, it's not like you're moving on to like crust punk. Like you're piecing out. You're breaking edge, you're out. You're becoming society. You know what I mean?
Right.
100%.
Because that's why most like young kids, this is like, before like designer drugs and like all this other stuff, it was like cigarettes, weed, and like booze, right? So like you drink, you break edge, then you're becoming society. Like straight edge was like the counterculture. You know what I mean? Like not many, you know what I mean? Like Youth
Yeah.
Crew was on the up and coming and they were the counterculture. People looked at those guys like, you're straight edge. Why? Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
100%. And people argue with us a lot about like drugs being a counterculture. And I think they're a counterculture if you have no culture. Otherwise, they're just culture.
Well, why I would argue that is because is there one football player on USC that's straight edge?
No
There's
way.
there's plenty of people who probably don't drink or do drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm not letting you call yourself straight edge.
Just because. Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a counterculture. To me, it has to be tied into the music. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sure we've all had friends. We all, oh, look at me. I'm not drinking tonight at a party.
I'm straight edge this weekend, bro.
I'm straight edge. I'm just like, bro, shut up. You're corny. You know what I mean? But we've all experienced that, So
100%.
To me, it ties in with the music and the counterculture and,
Amen.
that sort of stuff.
Bo and I never got to go to CBGBs. Can you tell us about your first experience there, your favorite experiences there, and are you already kind of putting it up on a pedestal as a teenager?
CBGBs as a teenager, for me, I know my first show there was a Rest in Pieces show. I saw Rest in Pieces there a few times. I saw like the 5 Golden Ring show that's on CBs, Me and You Scumbag Band, when they open up with that.
Yeah.
I was there, but that was later on. That was like 89. I saw them before that, I think with Raw Deal. I could be wrong. Like I said, Brett's a historian. My brain is shot.
You're doing great.
But just the whole, first of all, not telling my mother that I'm going there, right? Because who's letting a 15-year-old sneak into the Lower East Side? This is when crack was like running rampant in New York City. 400 murders a year. You know what I mean?
This is age of quarrel, Lower East Side. This is what they're talking about.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, like literally absolution, like crackheads everywhere, empty vials, carpet the ground kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was more than just the show. It was taking the train, riding up there, like meeting other hardcore kids on the train, see bomber jackets, you see champion hoodies, and like you're part of this like tribe that's going to this thing. And you're walking from 9th Street Path, which is like probably a mile walk to CB's. It's an adventure. You get there. And I remember I've always had a staring problem. I got it from my mom. I just like this. I'm always like in tune, but I stare. My boy Tom Yak, who's like a big tattoo artist, is like, listen, my nickname was always X. That's why Floorpunch, Mark X.
Mark X.
But
Yeah.
it was never Mark X. It was just X. Yo, X, yo, X. So he's like, X, there's some dangerous cats here. Do not stare at them. Because they just love to fuck kids up from Jersey. So don't stare. And I remember that. And I remember they're like, look at your feet. Now I'm with metalheads too. And they're straight up going like this. Like we're walking from the path, they're going like this, tucking their ponytails under their hat to go to CB's, because metalheads were a target. You know what I mean?
100%.
Whoa.
So that was the dudes I rolled with. And, it was just fucking awesome. Being in there, dark, scary, perfect stage. The floor itself was disgusting. Nails, not properly like leveled, tripping hazards everywhere. Like,
Sure.
You had a little crow's nest on either side, but the sound, man, it was just black, and the stage had the lights, and the sound was so good. Like people say that, but it was so rich and like.
I mean, dude, live at CB's sounds perfect.
Yeah, and it was like
it's impossibly good.
Yep.
Like not tinny, like full. You know what I mean? Like I think Tommy Victor from Prong was the sound guy.
Oh shit!
It was just friggin' awesome. You know what I mean?
Can you tell me the coolest show you went to at CB's? Because I know one that I think you were at. Were you at the Killing Time last show?
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
I was at that Burn show that just with where the Shock was wearing the Powell jacket. I think that was Super Touch Burn and Demise, but I could be wrong. But I was not at the last Killing Time show. I had seen Raw Deal there.
Were you at the Straight Ahead reunion?
I was not. Zeus, I was. Brett was. Like I'm a poser, bro. I mean, what can I do? I mean, all my, those dudes hung out with older kids that drove.
Yeah, you didn't live there. What can you do?
And even like getting to the train station wasn't easy. Like I had to get a ride there. You know what I mean?
Right.
You had to have an excuse.
Like Brett had some older friends that he could hop in their car with and go. And the reason like my father lived in a town where I knew these metalheads. Like, and when I stayed with my dad's on those weekends, it was easy to hook up with them and hop in with their car. But if I wasn't there, I was like on an island. But yeah, I remember the I Spy show, the Hawker show happening, wanting to go, and I couldn't go for some reason. Another core memory, when Killing Time played at the Shore with Social Decay, False Justice, it was like a banner show where Brett Beach had made a banner like about In Effect selling out. And they kind of wanted to beat Brett Beach up, Killing Time.
Right.
So like there was some schism, but my mom, we had gone skiing in Killington, and she was like, "I promise you, you'll be home for the show on Sunday." And then my fucking stepfather was like, "Oh, let's go antiquing on the way home." I remember just sitting in the
What?
back of the car. This is my kids know, like my heart was burning because they didn't even buy anything, and I missed the show.
Oh,
It was like an epic Jersey Shore show, 1990. Yeah,
All to go antiquing?
yeah, in Vermont.
That sucks, man.
It does suck, but these things are important when you're a kid.
100%.
You know what I mean? I was probably 16 or 17 now.
And you've never forgotten.
No, but Killing Time last show I was not at. I had seen Raw Deal at CB's thing twice, so I would say probably one of the Raw Deals, maybe like the Raw Deal Sick of It All show. I have to see the flyers, and when I see the flyers, like, oh, I was there. You know
Was
what I
it
mean?
similar in reaction where it's like every New York hardcore person in existence is there and on stage and moshing and diving and singing?
Yes. Yeah, like you had Lou and Pete on stage moshing. You know, you had the Sobs, the Minuses, you know, Kev Ones, Gavins, like the heavy hitters. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, it really was like that burn show is really like in Killing Time, like that encompasses really what, but that's a little later on. You know what I mean? Like it was a little
Yeah.
different, like 87. I wasn't there 87, like 88, early 89. You know, 90, like the scene was kind of wild in New York at that point. You know what I mean? CBs have been shut down and reopened, you know what I mean? Because of violence and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I saw Burn there a couple times. That Burn show where he's wearing that Powell gas jacket show was crazy, crazy.
Supposedly, Shaka was the first one to throw the spin kick. Speaking of
First or
Saab,
second,
who was
right?
First or second, yeah, that's what we've heard in our extensive research.
Okay, so there's someone who's still around. His name was Lou Hawk. Lou Hawk sang for Curbjaw, a Jersey band that Bill Punch was in before.
Okay.
And Lou Hawk, we just had a mohawk, you know, that's how he got his nickname. But then he was like a trained martial arts guy, Kung Fu Lou. He was the first one I saw doing spin kicks.
Here we go.
And he would wear three-eye steel toe docks,
Okay.
and he would just dive and just smash his feet on people's heads and be doing spin kicks. Yeah, he
Okay,
was.
so we got a third name in the first spin kick
third
hat.
name
We
in the
got
hat.
Saab, Chaka, Lou Hawk.
Lou Hawk for sure. I mean, any of my Jersey heads would back me up on that.
Okay.
All right. It is entered.
What I wanted to ask about was you mentioned going from, you know, coat and like safety pin earring punk kid into what you're, you know, very well known for being kind of sportswear, college football stuff, the Eagles starter jacket, you know, whatever. While this all of this New York, you know, while the scene is very much not that, especially as like the Youth of Today thing and the Youth Crew thing right before you guys was already very clean cut, but then Floorpunch and eventually you and your personal look, just looking through the book, got even more refined, it looks like. And I'm just curious about how that developed with you, like how that started with you. Did sports and everything do that, or was it coinciding with the scene that was happening at the time, or how did you get to where you eventually got?
Well, like full disclosure, like I was like a skater, like bodyboarder, like punk kid. When I went to high school, freshman year, my mom was like, "Listen, you're playing a sport." So I played football. I was pretty good at it, you know, and that's where like I didn't become a jock. Like, you know, I was playing sports and I like my aesthetic might have changed, but I was always like still wearing like bold shirts to school and stuff, you know, but that was like that transition from that, like the safety pin in the ear. It's true. Like I definitely poked it through and shaved my head with like my mom, like a mohawk, my mom's leg razor. You know what I mean? Teardrop, you know, trench
Just from
coat.
there.
Not even, bro. Just raw dog. Like, you know?
I'm your Venus.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
your Zion.
But that
Brutal.
is true. But like, you know, just, you know, I wanted to just hang out at the beach every day. My mom was like, "No, what? You're playing a sport." Like I played like rec soccer and baseball. Like I played sports, but football's a little more than that, you know, because it takes more time consuming. If you want to play, you got to work out and do all that shit. So, you know, I never stopped bodyboarding. They used to make fun of me. I would go to like work out in the summer in camp, and I'd be showing up with just like a pair of Vans covered in sand, like sunburn, from being at the beach all day. Because it wasn't like my love, you know what I mean? But it was just something to do, and I made friends through that. And you know, but like the aesthetic, like you're right, because think about the cover of the 7-inch, like the nerve to wear that, like the nerve
It's
to
crazy.
wear that to CBGBs. You know, the
But
nerve.
it's awesome, dude. It's like it's still happening to this day.
Yeah, right,
You know?
right.
You know, I equate that to in like a different way. You know, the mental dump truck video from Posse Numbers?
Of course.
You know, JR Get Real is wearing like a white tracksuit and like his hat's like this. That's the same thing as what I was doing, but like
peacocking.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm sure
You're
like
athletically peacocking.
I was, and it, you know, it was silly, but you know, I think I did it, you know, consciously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is what we're about, like clean cut.
But it's also you. It's you, and it's still you.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it was conscious, but it was authentic.
Well, it's refreshing to hear you say that and that it was conscious because when we talked to Dwid, I asked him the same thing because he was kind of well known for always changing his style and doing his shit. And he was just like, yeah, I don't know. Just kind of did whatever. And that's just such a frustrating answer, you know, as someone who's always wondered. So I'm glad to hear that because part of it, I'm sure, was kind of like a fuck you. I'm doing this. Like we're all doing this because this is what our crew is doing, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, like at the time, like Brett said in the book, you know, you had bands like Hoover and Lincoln and like Split Lip and like Lifetime.
Any
and,
other
like,
presidents?
Yeah. Like they were all covered. And, you know, it was like Dickies pants and like, you know, like small t-shirts and like whatever. Like, but, you know, when Brett, I'm kind of got sidetracked, but you guys will like the story. Another like important band from the shore from like the late 80s and the early 90s was a band called Human Remains, right? So very technical, but like cut from Ripping Corpse's cloth, you know, because not intermingling members, but all good friends.
Two of the most underrated death metal bands of all time.
I mean, listen, Ripping Corpses, the song Corpse Attacks is easily one of my favorite mosh parts of all time.
Whoa,
and it's
cool.
and it's written in 1986.
I know.
Wow.
Their Dead Bodies number one influence.
Okay.
As they should be, yeah. You know, I mean, they have real mosh parts.
Real mosh parts.
Not metal mosh parts.
Right.
Like hard
deliberate.
as can be.
Built for spin kicking, straight up.
Yeah.
Much like Suffocation, Dying Fetus. It's same vibe.
And it was 86, 87, 88, right? I think 80s. Death Warmed Over might have been 86, 87. Like,
crazy.
Yeah, so I was away at college for a year and a half. And I'd come home, and I think Brett was like, oh, Resurrection's playing, who I wasn't even that familiar with. He's like, there's a show at Rutgers. Do you want to go? He's like, who's playing? I was like, Resurrection. He's like, Human Remains. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I want to go. So Resurrection plays. I'm chilling. Human Remains plays. No one's moshing. Like, people are just standing there. Now, they have a song. I think it might be Rote. It's called like ROTE. When the bass like dun 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 dun. I'm sorry if I'm humming this, but
no, you're good.
And it just breaks out into the craziest. And I was just like, wham, like a fucking train across. Open that shit up. Ran over a girl, like this girl Colette, who was like leader of like Chicks Up Front movement. You know what I mean? And this dude came up to me, like literally patted me on the back. He was like, I didn't even know who he was, but I found out later his name. I forget now, but he was like, yo, thank you so much. I've been waiting for someone to do that. They weren't moshing. People were like
just
sitting,
mosh for Human Remains
or any band. No one was moshing. People were like sitting on the floor. It was like, you know,
it's unacceptable.
Crazy. Not me though. Bull in the China shop.
Damn right. Floor punch. So by 1995, hardcore has not even been around that long. Like when you really think about it, in the full concept of time,
less time from 95 to now.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And it's but it's changing so quickly. And by 95, it looks so different from when you found it. You know, you mentioned vegan stews at every show. No moshing rules. There's garbage metalcore everywhere you look. There's rules being put in place left and right. And it all, when you say it like that, it's like it's all so cyclical.
Yeah, like if you're serving vegan stew, like to feed the homeless, God bless, you know, but
100%.
But if you're just like serving stew and just advertising it as vegan just to say you're vegan, and like your zine explicitly says printed with soy ink, like that's where we were at. You know what I mean? Like that's what was going on.
Sure.
And you had bands like, you know, like Bloodlet, you know, the Donuts, like, you know, in hindsight.
What did you say in the book? It was
the trifecta of garbage.
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, Snapcase, those dudes, like, they can kind of rock a little. Like, I see what they're doing now. But 1995, 22-year-old me was like, no fucking way. No thank you. Like, Blinders. I want to hear Breakdown and Judge. And why doesn't every band sound like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what's
Amen.
the solution, Porter? In 1995, what is the solution for that?
The solution is to go to a show where there's some really bad bands playing, but you have Ignite playing. And Ignite for a hot minute had some tracks. You know what I mean? It was like, that SoCal, like UC Unity vibe, and going up front, singing along and be like, yo, that was cool. Like, this is how it happened. Like, I want to start a band. We're going to call it Floorpunch. Zeus I was like within an earshot. I was like, I'll play. I had known Mike and Mark from the town that my dad lived in since probably like 88, 89 when they were real young. They were like a couple years younger than me, like Skate Rats. And I knew they were in a band called Spirit, which was Curb Jaw prior to that. And, Mark was in Endeavor, so I knew he could play. And they were like, everyone was like basically in an earshot. And like, oh, we need another guitar player. I was like, oh yeah, or, we got Bill or this. And that was it. We were practicing 2 months later.
And it's because you were all so miserable at this Snapcase Bloodlet Donuts show?
Yeah, I think that was like the tide that like broke us.
I love what a focus there is on this show in the book of just everybody separately being like, fuck, this sucked. We're Floorpunch now.
We have to make a band. Yeah.
It's so awesome.
That's how it was. That show was the catalyst.
It's unbelievable. And the name Floorpunch, let's break this down for a second. It's such a miracle that it works because it's a mosh move. And at the end of the day, it's not all that different than calling a band Spin Kick.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Or circle pit.
Or circle pit. By the grace of God, by the grace of being a cool word, the band being awesome, and you guys being cool, it somehow passes. So that was 100% just you saying, it's called Floorpunch, guys.
Yeah, and we're going to play the kind of music we like. And if no one likes it, we don't care. Like, well, I cared because I wanted people to mosh. But, that was like, the mission statement of the band.
And that was Floorpunch, one word.
One word.
How pissed off would you get? I'm looking at all the flyers in the book where it's
so many.
2 words.
Floor punch.
Dude, that shit drives me crazy. It's stylized how it's meant to be.
Harms no apostrophe way, right?
I'll lose my fucking mind.
No apostrophe.
Yeah.
If you look at our 90s hardcore bracket episode, which had people up in arms for weeks now, they're still talking about it.
Good episode, by the way.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. There isn't a band on there that sounds like Floorpunch other than Floorpunch. And I think that alone is proof of what a breath of fresh air Floorpunch must have been, was, and is. Did you take issue with anything on our 90s bracket?
No.
Tell us how good we did. Yeah. Good.
No,
okay.
I mean, I had no problem we got knocked out by Madball, right? I mean, you can't. I mean, who would argue that? I mean, Madball.
I figured you'd be okay. I figured if you didn't, you'd be like, what are you doing, guys?
First time I saw Freddie was at City Gardens singing for Agnostic Front in 1988. It was one of my first, might have been one of my first shows in City Gardens, maybe second or third show.
And it's just, that's the guy.
Yeah, I mean, AF
Crown Prince.
Yeah. I mean, think about the lineage there. You know what I mean? It's like literally getting handed the keys to the Cadillac. Like,
it's
don't
1
fuck
and
this
2.
up. Exactly.
Well, speaking of, was 10 Yard Fight on our bracket? I believe they were on that bracket.
They were, yeah. That's the only other one.
So that's what I was going to say.
Even remotely close.
Now, I was shocked to find out. I thought Floorpunch predated 10 Yard Fight by a bit for some reason in my mind. And I was shocked to find out that it was really similar, really close, right around the same time. How do you explain this zeitgeist of similar mindsets happening in scenes away at the same time?
Well, I got it to shout out Mouthpiece because they never stopped doing this, albeit different from Floorpunch.
Yeah.
But, we were Judge, they were Instead, which is all cut from the same cloth.
So
but you know what I mean?
But it's a different part of the shirt,
Yeah.
Exactly. But they were doing it the whole time. Like, they never compromised. Even like their later stuff, when it got a little more melodic, it was still hardcore. But you also had in the background, people seem to forget, you had Cornerstone. That was 94 and maybe even late 93. They going to see Cornerstone shows were a lot of fun. They were good. They played great hardcore. And I think Fast Break might predate Floorpunch. Am I right?
I think so.
I think so, they do. Yeah. I'm sure they do.
It just sounds like everybody had it at the same time.
Yeah.
And a revolution came.
It did happen very quick because you had the Pennsylvania bands. You had Rancor,
Right.
right? You had Hands Tied come shortly, like maybe 97, 98, Mouthpiece, Cornerstone, Fast Break. You had smaller bands, the Uprise from Jersey, not the Uprise from Delaware, who were the Skinheads.
Mhm.
Who else? Who else do we have? There's more. I'm just drawing a blank.
There were the Boston bands, In My Eyes.
Oh yeah, In My Eyes a
10-year
little
fight.
later. That was 98. In My Eyes
Okay.
came in, Pete, energetic frontman, they had like an all-star lineup, Papalardo, Damien. Those dudes are great,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like as being in bands, like it's competitive, right?
In like usually the healthiest way, and sometimes not. Yeah.
Yes. So this was healthy because we were all helping each other.
Yeah.
But In My Eyes got big really quick. You know what I mean? And it was good. But it was competitive. You know what I mean? Like
But
where you were.
similar situation to you, where it was like this dude who's been around forever's first band.
Right.
Yep.
So let's make it really good for him.
Yeah. I mean, their first record was a good record. Their demo
Yeah,
was
I agree.
good. Good t-shirts. Good. I was
Half the
In
battle.
My Eyes was cool. Yeah.
So a week after the first floor punch practice, clear, changes, and the intro are all done.
Yeah. It was fast. Pretty sure I wrote all the demo's lyrics in like one night. Remember, I was living in my mom's house still before I moved to New York, and just listening to the breakdown demo and Judge 7-inch or Judge and NYU over and over. Just as you can tell,
Yeah. Sure.
It shows. I mean, it shows in that, like, you're the guy for a reason. It is your first time writing lyrics, your first time writing patterns, doing anything vocally at all. And you define the next 30 years of your identity as an artist in one night.
That better be the loosest interpretation. I always tell people, I'm no art. Believe me, I'm no artist. I'm no artist.
You are, dude. Whether you like it or not, this is art. I got a book about you. All my friends have a book about you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's art. So you did in a week. You said earlier the Floor Punch mission statement is immediately defined musically as well. How do you, as a fan of the genre, a non-musician singing for the first time, react to just hearing these songs?
I was always involved with the writing process because I knew what I liked. Not writing,
yeah.
but listening and being like,
Sure.
let's do this, slow this down, speed this up.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some.
Arranging.
Yeah, I knew what I liked, and there's Floor Punch songs that I'm not crazy about. And they made it through the cracks and they're on the records, but we didn't play them live too much. But yeah, I mean, hearing the intro, obviously I lifted my bust from the Maximum Penalty demo, right? Jimmy has that same bust, right?
Printed it in the lyric sheet. I love that.
Yeah, the demo, that MP demo is amazing,
Yeah.
And the release intro, this
Yep.
Floor Punch release intro, I'm sure you guys as guitar players, like those are very similar in like just if you rearrange them, it's kind of like Panty Raid. Like Let It Ride is Panty Raid played backwards, I'm told.
That's how you do it, man.
You know what I
Wow.
mean? So
Yeah.
so I was psyched. Changes to me is Changes, No Exceptions. Not
We'll
for
get to
me.
No Exceptions.
Not for me. Those are my three favorites. But Changes is just that bass line. Like Zev always had the best bass tone.
Mhm.
I mean, I remember we played a show with Sick of It All or someone, and literally Zeb gets a call at his house about Craig asking Zeb about his bass tone.
Whoa. Fuck
True
yeah.
story. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
And Zeb was like, you ever heard the Straight Ahead LP? Yeah, obviously he has. He's like, that's what
him.
I'm going for. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So I was obviously going to ask you your preferred tracks. I'm very happy to hear you say No Exceptions. I prefer the second recording of it because the drum fills are a little cooler, but the sample is on the first one. And there was a period of time in the Harm's Way van where if that came on, everyone had to, like, we all moshed in the van.
Headphones
Like, it was
off.
like,
Yeah.
no matter what, and I have such fondness connected to that song in particular and being 18 and on tour for the first time. So I'm very happy to hear you say that. That's meaningful.
I mean, the bass sounds so good, right? After that sample, it just works. Like, and it was kind of like when Blood for Blood would play Paper Gangster, like all the hardest dudes would come out and mosh because they had to prove they weren't paper gangsters.
Mhm.
But kind of like No Exceptions did that for like people who didn't like Floor Punch.
Oh,
Like-
They made an exception.
Yeah, they made an exception for Floor Punch with that song, because it was a
Okay.
little harder,
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean that changes. Yeah, and no exceptions.
And you talk about bass, you talk about track 1 on the record, bass thing opening it up. That's breakdown demo. You're immediately putting it on your sleeve of like, guys, this is exactly what we're doing, and people immediately connect with it before the demo's even out.
Yeah.
When you play your first show, young people are getting together. They're showing up. They got the shirts on already. Do you have shirts at the first show?
I don't think first show, but definitely like second and third.
The blue and white.
The blue and white. Myself and Dan Hornecker printed them at the Equal Vision warehouse in Manhattan before they moved upstate.
Before you were on Equal Vision, too.
Before we were on Equal Vision.
Yeah, right,
you know what I mean? And Dan and I printed them. And then we did the red ones shortly thereafter, the red and black. And, youth crew aesthetic, like, merch is important. We definitely, I wanted to rip the Raw Deal No More Game shirt with the NY Raw Deal, NJ Floor Punch, and, the box logo in the back, Floor Punch, New Jersey Straight Edge. That was all part of our mission statement, There was that buzz. First show, it was packed. I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? That was the first time I ever sang other than like in a practice space,
Mm-hmm.
And
no music out to the public.
Nothing. Covers. I think we
I was just gonna say, you
maybe
did.
4.
I want a PSA. I think every band, for as long as they're opening, need to play a cover or two.
Do a cover, do at least one, maybe even 4.
Like, what are you doing? Just do it. It will only ever help. Ever. It'll never hurt.
Yeah. I mean, especially as like a newer band, right?
As a new band.
Yeah, that helps. I mean, that's like you said, like a PSA. Like if you're an up and coming band, like play a cover that everyone wants to hear, and they're going to check you out just because they're going to be in there hearing their favorite song.
It's also just a declaration of, hey, here's what we like.
This is us. Yeah.
Here's this shirt I got on from this band I love, and here's this song we're going to play.
Here's what was it? It was Youth of Today,
Thinking Straight,
Warzone. Right? Yeah, Thinking Straight, As One, and what was the third one?
Safe in a Crowd.
Safe in a Crowd. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the signs, right?
Yeah, the signs. Yeah.
Yeah, the only picture that John didn't put in the book, which is, I think I might have showed you, it's a picture of one of the cue cards with, an insensitive slang on it, but it was tongue in cheek, and it was there like to say like, here, like this is the chorus of the song. It's going to offend you. We don't give a fuck. I mean, that's what was going on. But the caveat that Floor Punch like doing well from the jump was there was a lot of haters from the jump too.
Right. Yeah, tumultuous.
Yeah.
Was that because of just what the culture had become with the vegan stews and the no moshing and whatnot?
I think it was like the older heads being like, been there, done that, like too cool for school kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Because you're playing capital H hardcore and like every capital H hardcore band, if they make a second record, it's barely a hardcore record.
Yeah. And this is the time dudes were like swing dancing. You know what I mean? That was like a big deal, and like hardcore was weird. And, I've said it in the last 2 book event, like I did another book signing, not book signing, wrong term, like a book event.
Record release, a book release.
Yeah. Like,
there you go.
Believe me, there was no signing. And, I've come to grips that like, like with Earth Crisis and us, like we fucked up. We were all on the same team and we should have played shows together because it would have been bananas. I mean, they were bigger than us.
Well, you did.
We did. Yeah, exactly. But
it should have been a universal straight edge.
Like in hindsight, we were all on the same team. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
You said it first, so I'm just going to ask, how soon or how recently did you hear the term, are you Floor Punch straight edge or Earth Crisis straight edge? Like how immediately divisive was that?
I didn't hear that term till later on.
Okay.
Like the Richmond dudes would say it, like Thomas from Richmond is like, oh, Thomas was Earth Crisis straight edge, and like Jay Rollins was Floor Punch straight edge, and like that's when I really first heard the term, like later on. But it was truth to that, because like you had like the baggy jeans, headband, blonde hair, short dreads, big T-shirt scene. That was like the Earth Crisis, and you could tell who was who.
Sure.
And you would mix more. I feel like more them coming to us than our guys going to them. We're a little older, you know what I mean? Like we liked what we liked, you know what I mean? Like, the whole throwing yogurt at Earth Crisis thing, that wasn't us. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like it's a horrible thing. It was the thing that happened. It was funny, but it was Sean McCabe was like the leader of that. Rest in peace. You know what I mean? Good dude, singer of Crud, singer of
Ink and Dagger.
Ink and Dagger. Good dude, funny as hell. And that's kind of like popped it off. All floor punch dudes are throwing yogurt at Earth Crisis. We were there and laughing. So I didn't have any yogurt on my hands.
But meanwhile, Pat, your buddy Pat, is wearing the fur coat while Sean's doing this. So it's like, is there some great conspiracy happening,
it's
or
like
are these separate minds who just happen to do these things at the same time?
So Pat was vegan, and it was a fake fur coat.
Oh, he was vegan.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
but did Carl really say, "Get him"?
Yes.
From stage.
Yeah, and he got, it was another one of those things like he got jumped, but nothing happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's kind of
wiggled out like Bugs Bunny. Let's
talk about this. Let's break it down. Now that we're talking Earth Crisis, let's break it down. Can you break it down? What's been referred to my whole life as the Earth Crisis floor punch yogurt incident, we've now come to learn is more the Earth Crisis Ink and Dagger yogurt incident. But if you could break down this incident from your perspective, I think it would be great.
I don't know what led. Well, you know what? It's funny because I'll give Earth Crisis this. They were catching a lot of slack, way more than we were. You know what I mean? Because they really wore that shit on their sleeves. You know what I mean? Like they did, and they preached it. And so I remember, I wasn't really familiar with Earth Crisis, but I remember our first show was with Earth Crisis, Human Remains, Bug Out Society, Ensign. Bug Out Society bought like 24 White Castles to throw at Earth Crisis before they even played. You know what I mean?
Your first show.
For our first show.
So this just constantly happened to them.
Yeah. And
saying we don't eat animals.
I don't remember it happening, but I remember hearing that it was going to happen. And I definitely didn't watch Earth Crisis. I might have been like out in the back playing soccer or something. I don't know. But so I don't know what brought the Philly guys, like if they had an actual beef to do it, or just like, hey, like Sean was that kind of guy. He was a funny, like energetic character. You know what I mean? But what led up to him doing that, I'm not quite sure.
Okay. And it got pinned on you for 20 years.
Yeah, and it wasn't us. No one in the band. Other dudes were unplugging their equipment, but I think just kind of when like everyone kind of puffed their chest out a little when Pat got jumped, and like we were like in the mix of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And then Carl's saying, "Hey, if you try to fight me, I'll stab you." To people allegedly. Pretty cool.
That is cool. I don't remember that, but yeah.
But I see. So that Stickman from Fury 5 was also there, and backed Earth Crisis. Which, if I'm you, I'm like, fuck. Devo just showed up and ended this.
Stickman OG ass beater.
Straight up.
Yeah.
The king of ass beatings.
I mean, I remember when he was before he did some time in jail and came out jacked, like when he was smaller, because he's a few years older than me, but he was always around. He had another brother. He had a brother, Gary, as well, that was involved in hardcore. And I never, the whole like, I'm not going to say there was like Fury of 5 floor punch beef because there wasn't, but like, there was like some noise by people that followed us and like friends of theirs, but they practiced in the same studio, sometimes the same nights as us. You know what I mean? So if Stickman wanted to come over and like, he had his chances. So it was never really like that. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I'd seen him in years past, and we're both older dudes. We've both been around. You know what I mean?
You're both OG Jersey.
Yeah, and I saw him do some cool shit when I was a kid. So I always knew
he invented arguably the greatest mosh move of all time.
Yeah,
the Stickman,
and it's just his name.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember him just at a club called the Fast Lane, just whooping ass when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was intimidating.
Well, I had something about the second and possibly third or soon thereafter Christmas floor punch show.
Hit me.
Where it seems like you gave Tim Shaw like an existential crisis about the meteoric growth of the band.
Because you're immediately playing after them?
And destroying,
Yeah.
So we did a weekend, Ensign, they were friends. We were friends with guys in Ensign. But Tim was like, he, having roadied for Sick of It All and like being friends with like New York guys, like he wanted to have this band like be like his way out. Not like maybe like in life, but he wanted this band to be his deal.
Yeah.
And none of us were going for that. We were just like, we're just trying to have fun. You know what I mean? So we did a weekend with them, and I remember Tim and I had flipped a coin, like who headlines which day.
Yeah.
So we lost, and we wound up headlining in Virginia Beach, smaller show. But then the next show was that Youth of Today Fest holding the Candy Cane, where basically every youth crew band played, and it was packed. And we played, and it was fucking bananas. Like I remember the Boston dudes were down. Just I remember PA, head walk from one PA to the other, like not even touching this kid Ray Lemoyne.
That's the dream.
Yeah, like Boston dude.
That's why we do it. That's the end goal of head walking, right?
Yeah. So then Ensign played after us, and it was like crickets. And I remember him like breaking an LP, like, why does no one like us? And we just like, oh, sorry, you know, what I mean? Like, you know, we were friendly. Yeah, we were obviously friends, but
of course,
you know,
I think you played more shows with Ensign than any other band.
Could be, yeah, for sure.
Looking at the book, it's like every other flyer.
dude.
Yeah.
It's like Ensign and Saves the Day. It's like that's like the next one, which we'll get there. I have questions.
Yeah.
I'll put At Your Funeral on it. Like, and my daughter will be in the car. I'll be like, we used to play with these guys. They played before us.
Yeah,
She's
they
like,
opened.
Yeah, she didn't believe it, you know?
Shut
That's
up.
like a real song, you know?
Pardon this interruption. You know damn well we hate to interrupt this unbelievable episode with one of the greatest straight edge frontmen of all time. But what do we got today, Bo?
We got to talk to you guys about so many things. First of all, Manscaped. You know what time it is, guys. You know what we're about. You know what we're doing here. You know what's just around the corner. Christmas time, baby. 2 weeks from today,
Yeah.
it is Christmas morning.
If you order now, site-wide, your mother or father or anybody in your family with excessive body hair can finally be saved. Code HardLore is going to get you 15% off and free shipping site-wide. That's the lawnmower, the weed whacker, the super handy Rocket Man, the Rocket Man handyman.
That's the one. Yes.
There's a Rocket Man variant of it. It's fine.
It's fake.
You know, we're very prone to we love the crop preserver before a long day. We love the crop reviver after a long day.
Boy, do we.
When you stank, don't thank. Just scape it up, because we've had enough of the stank coming from you. Okay,
Straight.
and
Up.
straight up. There you go. You resolved the rhyme. Thank you, Bo. Code HardLore, 15% off, free shipping. Manscaped. You know what it is. It's time.
Yep, it's time.
This episode is also brought to you by AG1. The first thing we do every single morning for damn near 3 years now, a scoop of this little green powder that now comes in 3 different flavors. Ice cold, 12 to 16 ounce water. Shake it up in the glass bottle that you get from drinkag1.com. Suck it down, and there you go. You've got all your daily probiotics, prebiotics, and an incredible blend of vitamins.
A myriad of vitamins and nutrients and things that you need that we know you don't already have.
We certainly didn't pre-AG1. Listen, I eat Panda Express so much. And I don't always get the super greens because I've got AG1, you know?
Right, yeah.
What do I need them for?
That's why they're there.
drinkag1.com. You're going to get their best offer ever. You're going to
What
get
is
a welcome kit with a hat, a free hat.
What?
We all need hat,
I need that hat.
right? You're
Yes.
going to get a year's supply of vitamin D and K drops in this little bottle. It will last you 1 year. It lasted us a year.
Yep.
And then some. And you're going to get the flavor sampler kit. This has all 3 brand new flavors of AG1 and a sample of the brand new AGZ, their new sleep drank, we call it.
That's what we say. We say it every night.
Every
when we
night
say-
after we get off Arc Raiders, we go, you going to have your AGZ sleep drank?
Yeah. We have our good night call. We drink our drinks. We go to bed every
We
night.
say love you, and we say good night.
Good night.
By the way, drinkag1.com/hardlore. Because Christmas is coming, as we said before. So please, just get better, okay? Do better.
Yep.
AG1. And lastly, this episode is brought to you by Guilty Party. And I got a new synthesizer here. I'm not going to tell you the name because I paid full price. And I figured we would do the Guilty Party ads to the tune of Creep by Radiohead, right?
Now, the problem, real quick, is this is going to be out of sync, so I can't really get involved in this. So I
Just
just
give it
want
a
you
shot.
guys
Give it a
just
shot.
listen to, he's going to take it away.
Guilty P. The P stands for party. It's a really great store. Maybe I'll tell you more. You can get 10% off with code HardLore.
Yeah, great.
They got so much stuff, it'll fill you up. By that I mean your stocking or something.
Sure.
They've got so much.
Woo!
So much denim. Stuff like Iron Heart or 316. What else do they get, Bo?
Guys, this is the premier store in America, as far as I'm concerned. I just got myself a new jacket. It arrived yesterday. It's the Ironheart Tanker jacket. I look dope.
Oh,
Don't you want to look dope? We all
I
want to
look dope.
That's absolutely right. And listen, guys, it's owned by a Corman. It's owned by an Edgeman, our good friend Champ.
His name is Champ Hammett.
The drummer from Foundation. You love them. We love them.
He plays for Foundation.
Colin, tell him how to do this. Tell him what code to use.
I will. Oh,
Sorry.
you best believe I will. I gotta resolve the melody first. Use code HARD. Use code HardLore. You're gonna get 10% off and free shipping if your order's for over $300. So quit fucking around and get a pair of jeans right now.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
running out of time 'cause Christmas is coming. All right, back to the episode with Porter. Have a great time.
Enjoy.
All right, now it's time to get this demo out. Tell us about your experience recording the Floorpunch demo.
With a dude named Alap Moman in his house, maybe in the garage or like downstairs, like a split level house, and banged it out one day. I think it was instruments one day, vocals the next, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was the first time. You know what? And it really freaked me out singing loud with no music. Like hearing myself yell the lyrics with no like live, it fucked me up. Like I had never
It's scary.
experienced that. Yeah.
Right.
Then you really know what you sound like.
Yes.
'Cause
And
I
you
was-
sound good.
Yeah. And
It
if you
holds up.
when we play, I'm always a turn the vocals down in the monitor kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm low vocals, but
So your shit's gone by the end of the set.
yeah. But I prefer that. And then when I was hearing myself yell, I was like, oh boy. And then when it came out good, you know, I mean, it was
Came out
cool.
great.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I know I speak for myself. I speak for Bo. I speak for every Floorpunch fan on earth that intro changes clear as a 1-2-3 punch on a demo is like, yeah, this is one of the greatest bands in history, obviously. And I think one of the most impressive things about the demo is how well structured it is. It's those three to get you ripping right off the bat. You got a 6-second palate cleanser. You got two more big all-time bangers. This song about your best friend, who's still your best friend and was the best man at your wedding.
Tolerate, right? Tolerate.
Yeah.
Then gonna get yours.
Big crucified closer, you know? And it's not lifelong musicians intentionally pacing a record. It's students of the game who love hardcore doing something similar to all the bands that they love, purely on instinct. Do you go back and revisit this demo, and are you impressed with what you guys have done?
I think I never listen. Ever. But I remember when there was a time, I mean, this is kind of weird, but like to say, like on a Floorpunch episode, but like I almost kind of like World War IV songs a little more. Little more grimy, little more like breakdown, like Demise, like Occupied Territory style, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't get me
You're
wrong.
older, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the Floorpunch songs are great. The songs that I love. But I rarely go back and visit. But when I did hear the demo, I was psyched. I was psyched to share it with people and watch the reaction, because that's what, you know, that's when I kind of knew. Playing it for a couple like Tim McMahon from Mouth, he's like, yo, dudes are going to like this. I guarantee it. Like, don't worry about it.
That was something that was brought up in the book. I don't remember if it was you who said it or someone else who says, like, it was a different time. You couldn't send a link and get a live feedback. You had to get someone there. And I do remember doing that in our early days, like playing it on the car stereo for sure. But I guess I didn't even think about the fact that you have to physically get someone somewhere and be like, listen to this for 15 minutes, please.
Yeah, like you should page in like Jordan from No Warning Now. Because we did the same thing at a Boston show. I was like, yo, listen to this Napalm Death, listen to this Bolt Thrower, this is Ripping Corpse. Like the same, just like showing mosh parts. You know what I mean? And that's something like he'll tell you, like, I remember it. But yeah, that was like, it was like, there was no sharing. It was like, here, check this cassette out, but I need it back. So let's go listen to it in the car. You know what I mean?
The master, yeah.
There's only one copy, so you can't take it.
In the first promo for this demo, there's text on the top that says, "Do you remember hardcore? Well, we do." This is 7 years after the Spirit of '88, the Great Resurgence. Resurgence 8 years later, basically.
Yeah.
Hardcore is already something that, in your mind, needs to be revived, like the original intention and musical sound of hardcore. What was the immediate response to this demo? Do you think that you achieved your goal to you and that the audience looked at it as like finally something for us again?
Yes. So there was that feeling of a breath of fresh air, right? The shows from the jump were packed. Even like second show, third show, DC, Sean McCabe 315 house where like those dudes live. We played their house and it was packed, like in the living room, Middlesex, obviously we weren't the draw because like bigger bands played, but it was bananas when we played and everyone was up front. The buzz was there. The demos were flying, t-shirts flying, and even like later when the 7-inch came out, flying, like you couldn't, going to show in DC with, I think that was the DC might have been the first show we had demos at, and they just gone.
Yes, 75 were printed, I think it said, and they were gone within an hour.
Yep. Which
Unreal.
in the days of like sound scans and everything else, which is it's not small, but you're buying a cassette tape, which is like.
But dude, if I sold 75 shirts or 75 cassettes at a show today, I'd be like, yeah, we've crushed.
Yeah,
absolutely. Great night.
Yeah.
Did you get any flack for the lyrics to Clear right away?
Yeah, it's corny. Then you had like the dudes like, oh, like no sympathy for like any kind of actual addict. Like I pray to God you OD on that shit. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. The only one that hurt was when Brett sent Pusshead the demo, and Pusshead was like, yo, this is great, but the lyrics are too much. He's like, what's this dude? He's like, what's this dude's problem? I was so sad, man, because I love Septic Death, and obviously the artwork is just like, And he wanted it. We actually, even after he said that, I think Pussmore was going to put out one of our records.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with that in mind?
100%. Yeah, it wasn't like he heard the lyrics like, no, I don't want to do it.
Dude, I think that is the best endorsement you could have gotten. That's like the Bill Cosby, Eddie Murphy thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where he's like, you can't say fuck, man. But it's like a parental advisory sticker from God.
Yeah, it's the artwork
that's
of like...
too extreme.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you guys are... Yeah, that's crazy.
That's awesome. That's the coolest possible thing.
The letter in his handwriting, in the Pusshead handwriting, is very cool.
Dude.
Yeah.
Something you got to get the book to see, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that one hurt. I remember Brett was like, you're not going to like this. And I was like, oh,
Dude, but I would have taken that as the biggest bet. You should wear that as a badge of honor.
That should be on the back of a shirt. That should
too extreme for Pusshead.
Yeah.
Floorpunch logo.
Welcome to Pussmore Records.
That's right. The first time you guys played Philly, you showed up to a One Life Crew show with gear and asked if you could play, and Hatebreed didn't show up, therefore you did.
Yeah, that's true. I don't have many memories of that show, but that is true. We weren't even on the bill. We just showed up with equipment.
Hardcore.
It was at the church. I don't remember anything about the show. But that being said, Philly was always great to us.
Good. Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a load-in, too, to take a gamble on.
Yeah. Those
we
steps
got our
aren't...
stuff. Yeah, it's not easy.
Oh, you brought gear, huh?
Yeah.
Bring it on down. How often at this point are you regularly just playing local shows in New Jersey?
I know the book. I mean, as being in a band, like Floorpunch didn't play that many shows, right? I feel like
they're all in there. I mean,
I mean, there's a bunch, but we were only a band from the end of '95, basically to very early '99. So that's what if you do the things less than 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because the Final Mosh was a few months after we got back, and like 6 months back,
right?
But we were trying to like hop on what we could, but we were picking and choosing too. I remember we got asked to play a show with like Baby Gopal and Shelter, and I remember we played it, and I was so mad. I was like, oh, I want to play this show. We were like picking and choosing, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I only really wanted to play. Like, some bands have a mission like we want to play up, we want people to see us, we want to get big. That was never our deal. You know what I mean?
Right.
We just wanted to play with who we liked. You know, like we liked Blood for Blood, we liked Death Threat. We wanted to play with Blood for Blood and Death Threat. You know, and we didn't care if they liked. You know, we know those guys liked us, like the band. But, you know, those are like the crowds we wanted to play for, you know, like we wanted to play like those bands. I wanted to play with those bands, you know, like we were like kind of selective, but yeah, we were playing like if there was like a youth crew revival genre show, we were always on it, you know, and they were good. They were always good.
Yeah. So in June 1st, 1996, you guys 10-year fight play in Boston together was the first time that you played together. Did that feel like a thing or was it just a show?
Gathering of the tribe.
Was it a gathering or just a show?
We became really good friends with all the Boston kids, but right that weekend was still kind of new. Like from like, there was like 97, 98. We were up there every weekend hanging out, you know, hanging on Newberry Street, hanging with the dudes, like the Yankee Sucks dudes. Like, this is a little before Yankee Sucks, but like all those kids were with like our crew that went on to do that. So, but yeah, not, remember a girl, Lynn, Blood for Blood's drummer's wife, Mike Mahoney. Lynn Mahoney booked that show.
Okay.
And you didn't really have you knew like 10-Yard Fight was doing their thing and we were doing our thing. And it was kind of like that.
Okay.
But it wasn't like a big, like, you know, like not like that Yuletide Fest where like every band was on the bill and it was like, that was it. You know what I mean?
Is there a single Floorpunch show that comes to mind other than the Final Mosh that sticks out as like the best show or the moment where you thought you guys had like truly achieved the goal of Floorpunch?
I would say the Chatham show. I think I'm not sure who else was on the bill, probably Mouthpiece and a few other bands, but there was probably 800
probably
people there.
Ensign.
No, it was a big show. It might have been like a By the Grace of God show.
Yes. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that show, because there was 800 kids there and everyone watched us and it was bananas. You know, some shows like the Princeton Arts Council was another venue like in South at Princeton University where, I'm sorry, the mic went out and I just sang without a mic, but the whole room was singing. Like those are like those moments when you feel like, holy cow, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're literally Minor Threat in that moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Even like playing the Super Bowl in DC in like 98, I think it was, when they had like the two stages, like back to like, you know, Warzone on this end, we're on this end, and just a huge show and just people like going off, you know.
That sticks with you to this day.
Yeah, like, yeah. Okay. People, you know, Chatham was probably one of our best shows for sure, because it was just so crowded and everyone was going nuts. You know, Philly shows were always good. You know, the Rat show after Rabies died. So
that's what's on my list here to ask you about. I want to list off who played the show because it's so crazy. It was Madball, 10-Yard Fight, Reach the Sky, Blood for Blood, Floorpunch, In My Eyes, and All Out War.
Yes.
3 days, I think, after Rabies died.
Yeah, we learned as one. Well, the band did. I knew the lyrics on the car ride up there. Like those dudes just sat like guitar on knee in the back of the van. And that's why we opened up with it.
And you opened up with it, and someone describes it in the book. It's like from the first second, it was some of the craziest energy and vibe. What do you remember from that show specifically? It's one of the craziest flyers I've actually ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, packed. The Rat, like legendary CBGBs in Boston kind of venue, you know what I mean?
Kenmore
like,
Square, yeah.
Damp, dark, perfect stage, small, you know, Boston, seedy town, like heads there that you could fuck you up, you know what I mean? Like, and, you know, we were a straight edge band, but, you know, even dudes, like, everyone was moshing for that. And that, you know, that was like the, you know, again, for a new band using the cover, you know, that got everyone, you know, and the set was just bananas. It was a great show. And Rabies had just died. It was like somber, you know, and I just, you know, paying respect to like an OG, you know, that's all it was, you know. We didn't think of like, we didn't have any angle towards it. It's just what we wanted to do, you know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, those spur of the moment covers, like, oh, let's do it. Let's just do it. Just do it. Those are the, like, some of the best things that occur.
I remember every one I've ever done.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Because pulling it off is like just as satisfying.
Yeah.
I'm going on my gram now. I want to show you the one picture I have in my story from that show.
Okay.
A guy got beaten with a fan at that show.
Yeah, a metal fan, an industrial
Industrial metal fan, and he like walked out of there and was like kind of stoked on what had happened to him. I'm
He's a
looking
big fan of what happened.
He's a huge metal fan.
Okay, I found the picture.
Oh,
Yeah, they got him.
yeah, he bloodied.
Yeah, they got him good.
Yeah, so that happened at the show. That happened, I think, during Madball, maybe.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
All Out War, so heavy.
Go
It was like Reach the Sky. Ian, a friend of the band, great dude, always like so hospitable when we were up there. It was just that's a top 2 or 3 show for sure.
There we go.
I'm glad I remembered for sure.
So, speaking of rabies, something I always try to ask the generations before me because I can never find a concise answer. Why construction gloves? What did it come? What was the purpose? Where did it come from?
And chains around their waists. I mean, why? They're using those chains to beat people up.
That made sense to me.
Construction gloves, I don't know, but I rocked that style for a while. Mine said X is on one knuckle and Shore on the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know Roger did. I know Ray did. Obviously, I've seen Mike Judge did. They
were just blue collar boys who were at work one day and they were like, "This is sick. I gotta do something with it."
I've heard that it was so that like you didn't have to go to work with an X on your hand the next day if you worked at a place that maybe that wouldn't work. I've heard it was so your knuckles wouldn't get as bloody if you were using them. Right. And I would love everything else we have an answer to. This is the one mystery I haven't cracked.
They just look sick.
Yeah, it does look sick.
More. It looks great.
I rocked them for a while. Too. But I remember, I'm so funny. Like some of like the younger dudes would show up to Floorpunch. We were wearing like gardening gloves, like cotton, like navy blue wrist, white, like surgical gardening gloves. Like
sometimes
that's not the look.
Man.
Yeah, make do with what you have.
Sometimes you got to put on the dishwashing glove and head to the show.
But when you talk about like construction gloves and chains, another core memory, being at an early show at CB's and seeing Jorge from Marauder out front with like mid-calf jean shorts, and his belt was just an extension cord. See, core memory. I remember seeing this dude with a castle tattoo, and his belt was an extension cord. Like,
is this pre-Master Killer? Or?
Like, see this lamp here?
Yeah,
like that was his. Oh, way pre. This is like probably 1989.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He was bouncing. He was like working the door at CB's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You heard it here. All right. Division 1 champs.
Mm-hmm.
Even people in the photo thought it sounded like too jock of an album title. And you're embracing it. As you said earlier, you're doing it intentionally. Tell me about recording this landmark 7-inch, deciding what songs to re-record, and the reaction to it.
Yeah, as I said, not being an artist or a musician earlier, my input as far as the re-recording was very minimal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I knew I'd like No Exceptions. We knew we had the hits and they had to go on here in like a different medium. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as anything else, I'm being just full transparency. Like the band would have better idea about that.
Okay. I mean, I think you picked the right song, so they were right.
Yeah. I mean, what do we have? Not For Me on there. Shotzi, right? Is that what else?
Isn't Changes on there again?
Changes. Yep. No Exceptions.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy when you don't even know.
Well, yeah. It just I forget which one is on which. I know them all. I just don't know which one.
Yeah. What's the reaction to it like?
That was peak Floorpunch.
Okay.
96, 97. We had the new shirts out. The Floorpunch 96 shirts with the Changes lyrics on the back. The live shot from the 7-inch at CB's. Yeah, like that was peak Floorpunch.
No Exceptions is like advanced HC songwriting 101, dude. This is as good as it gets. Is this a song you're involved with musically in terms of like where the writing, or is this something you're hearing and the band just brings it to you?
I think Zeb just had that bass line.
God damn, Zeb.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your reaction to hearing this song?
I was a fan immediately. Yeah. Because that's, I always had a friend who would be like, "Oh, I got this new demo. You're not going to like it. Doesn't sound like Breakdown."
Mm-hmm.
Well, No Exception sounds like a breakdown song.
Sounds like breakdown.
It goes Mosh 3, which we've talked about before. There's the like youth crew beat where you're still singing, then the build up, and then the where it goes full. So that's Mosh 3, which is scientifically proven and studied on this show to be in the sweet spot of mosh speeds.
3 is where you want to be.
That's where you want to be.
TM. So great job.
So great job. This is your accolade from us.
I'm sure I brought nothing to the table.
If it wasn't as good vocally as it was musically, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah,
but it's a masterpiece.
Something you briefly cleared up for us, but obviously we didn't talk about it on the show yet, is the great myth of this 7-inch on gold winding up in the water at the shore.
No, so they wouldn't print an odd number of 88. There was 90 printed. They had the 2 unnumbered ones, and the rest were distributed. So there were 90 pressed. But the urban legend was we threw a dozen in the ocean.
Half of them in the ocean. Yeah.
I remember at one point somebody was like, "Yo, Floorpunch threw 500 records in the ocetion." So
they don't care.
88. Yeah, these guys are nuts, man.
But we gave
there's none in the ocean.
We gave them away.
Yeah,
I don't even think Brett sold them. He was like kind of selective, but like a lot of bozos got them too. You know what I mean? Like people that aren't deserving.
I think I've only
people have sold them, dude. That sucks.
Yeah, I think I've only seen like 2 in my life.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I got 3 in my basement.
Oh, pays to sing in the band.
The 2 unnumbered ones and 1 numbered one.
I sold 1 unnumbered. I have 87, 88, and unnumbered.
Oh wow. Okay, so none wound up in the water. It's a pure myth.
He's got them.
Pure myth.
Yep.
Okay.
Dave Sausage has 1. I have the other.
Beautiful.
Do you know who's got them at this point? I know there's like a spreadsheet out there of who's got them.
There is a registry. It's not complete, but yeah.
So awesome.
If you're on the registry, comment your number below.
Yeah, the number below, please.
And we will help finish the documentation for who has.
That could help. Yeah, because I know Brett has really tried to. He's very thorough, and I know he's tried to do it, but I know some were lost. Like the guy Jerry from Jersey, his was lost in like a big flood in his basement. But I don't even know what number he had. But I think Zev still has 3.
Okay.
King Shout, the band still has them. Jeff TDT.
Dude, these sell for upwards of like $1,500. This is like Misfits 7-inch territory.
Which was crazy. It's crazy, right? It's
feels good, right?
Yeah, it's nuts.
It should. So at this point, as a band, 7 inches out, and you're now consistently being asked to play with the bands and the people that inspired Floorpunch to start. How do you feel at the time about Jersey and New York legends embracing Floorpunch?
Stoked. Like when Murphy's Law wants us to play with them, and that's not even probably the band you were expecting me to say, but yeah, I mean, it was awesome.
And at that show, you're on the marquee, and Hatebreed is not.
Yeah, in Virginia Beach, and
pretty cool.
Rip Todd Youth, the dude was fucking awesome. He would watch us play, like Shredder. I had a cool restaurant in the city. I was living in New York at the time. I'd always see him there. Yeah, I mean, we were funny. You would see like the characters at the shows. Like I'd come have the guys I was giving my shirts to were like Gestapo and like English Nick from YDL. Like, because to me, them wearing the shirt would be funnier than someone you'd expect to be wearing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Gestapo wore his, and like he's like, there's some zines and like shit where he's wearing a navy blue Floorpunch like smorgasbord rip. It's too funny. Yeah.
Can you tell me about the first time Floorpunch played with Breakdown? That had to feel good.
Yeah, and I think it was at CB's too.
That feels good.
And then they became so. I feel like, I can say this and not be embarrassed or ashamed, but I feel like we helped Breakdown become big again. Like covering the shit out of them and riding for them in every interview, and we became, that 96 era was like Lou Beto, right, on drums, Dijon, Larry, right, from Sub-Zero, I think, on bass, and Jeff. And did they have a second guitar player?
I don't know.
I don't think so. But Lou was, we were friends with all of them. I mean, Larry was very quiet, but Lou, was great. Dijon, still have his number on my phone, like great dude, the best, like awesome dude. And Jeff was great too, you know what I mean? But yeah.
And then they come back with maybe the sickest record a band can come back with, you know?
Yeah, Blacklist is a great record.
God
You know, I
damn,
mean,
dude.
I think people get a little fucking wild saying it's better than the demos, but I don't want
I
to
think
hear
it's a demo versus an
any
EP, which to me is different classification.
because
Yeah.
you know, the Breakdown 87 demo is the pinnacle of
It's the greatest hardcore demo.
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Raw Deal is amazing, but to me, Breakdown's better. But
Interesting.
it's literally like God tier and lower God tier. You know what I mean?
It's the same people on both demos, pretty much,
Yeah,
right?
Drago, right? Rich, yeah, they were like,
So they're one and one. You know? Either way you go. Same guys. Let's break down, no pun intended, the Floorpunch versus Ensign football game.
so we, you know, just being like, oh, floor puncher jocks. Ensign had a friend Derek who was like a college football player. He was like a good athlete, and like might have been Derek's idea, like, oh, we'll play floor punch in football. And we, you know, I had one of my buddies come who was like fringe hardcore dude, and like people said, oh,
He
you're
counts.
bringing.
He counts.
Yeah,
You got a ringer?
he heard Breakdown on the way up to the game. You know what I mean? So they were like crying foul, like. So we basically wiped them up, and I remember within like
But the score was 7-0. Right?
yeah, going by ones though.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So it was really
okay,
it was
okay.
49. It was 49.
oh my God,
Oh, okay.
dude. Pillaged them.
Literally after the opening kickoff, so we're playing football for what, 10 seconds?
Yeah.
I remember the singer of Strength being like, I'm going to get my gun. He's like, he just left. Another Jersey band, Strength 6.
So it's instantly just it's a walloping.
Instant beef. Yeah. But yeah, and you know, yeah, it was funny. There's pictures in the book, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
in the book,
incredible.
right?
Oh yeah. The
Those
whole
can't-
like breakdown, play by play is in there.
There's like 13 accounts of this football game.
Those pictures, like that was like one of the things like I gotta give respect to Shining Life, that those pictures came in way late in the process. Like that was
and
like
they're-
they were
knew.
like, time out, don't press the book, bring it back.
Yeah.
We got to get these in there, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I think a kid Aaron had those pictures, who I haven't heard from or seen in a million years.
Haven't mentioned that our buddy Tom B was a big part of putting the book together visually.
Yeah.
King of punk books.
Yeah, really good at him, man. Tell you
Yeah.
what.
I mean, I'm like I said, I haven't read it, but I've perused, and you know, it's amazing. You know, I like, you know, I'm staving it. You know, like I don't want to.
yeah.
I want to always
When
have
I-
something like to fall back on.
When I first got it and I was flipping through it, I didn't read it all right away. I flipped through it much like you. And then I got to the merch section at the end. And like, it gave me chills to see everything, cataloged and there.
Exactly.
And shown exactly how I want to see it. I want to see the tag. I want to see the cracking on the print and everything. How deliberate at this point now, like after the demo, after the first shirt that you're doing the raw deal thing, like later on, how deliberate are the merch designs? How are you coming up? Good, great answer. And how are you coming up with what you're doing?
So we were fortunate enough to have a younger kid named Vince Klein, or Bucket. He drew the Floor Punch Mosher. He drew the Hooded Guide. Do you remember Hardcore? What we do?
Yeah.
So he was in our camp, and he drew the, like, to me, like, I'm gonna say famous, but like by famous I mean loved, like the moshing scene T-shirt, the Floor Punch New Jersey, with like the scene, like the skins diving, like the X fit, like the schism fist. I mean, yeah, very intentional, very deliberate. You know, that's what we wanted. You know, like think like youth crew aesthetic, hard mosh scene, chains. You know that very, even like the Floor Punch play like a champion shirt with like like the crew shirt with like the tag, whatever it's called, the ringer.
Yeah.
All deliberate, the classic college font, Notre Dame colorway. You know what I mean? Yeah, like we were very fortunate to have like probably the biggest East Coast screen printer in our camp, like FPC, the kid Jeff TDT. You know, he would just do it on his own. Like, hey, I did this. We're gonna sell them today. We've never even seen them, but like, yo, that's sick. You know what I mean? Different colorways. Like he knew what we wanted.
You got real lucky.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he did well too,
Yeah.
But we were like, people called us a merch band because T-shirts were changing all the time. As you can see by that book, there's a ton of them,
There's a ton of them. And it's crazy to see, what I love in all old pictures like this is you could see what band had just played like a week prior because everyone's in the same Instead shirt or something,
Love that. or
There's
at
so
that
much
show.
of that in this book. It's incredible.
It's also nice that Zach, who one of the authors of the book, basically, is one of the greatest hardcore T-shirt collectors alive. Probably.
Yeah.
How do you know how many of those are his?
I don't, but I know that kid Rye Filman from Philly, Ryan. Of
course.
He has a crazy collection. I know a lot of them are his.
Okay.
You know, I know a lot of them aren't mine because my wife uses them as like nightshirts. I have some OG ones around that are like paper thin, but
Okay.
I don't have much. You know,
Me too.
So I
They're
do have
falling apart.
I do have a one of one though. The Floorpunch crew with the ringer, but it's in a heather gray. It's the only one made.
Cool.
It's somewhere in my. I could probably show you. It's in here somewhere.
Fallen to shreds at this point, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
No.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay, good.
Here.
Intact.
Can we take a time out real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Find it for us.
I don't know if I can, but it's pretty much dead stock because it was my stepfather's. Like he had it and he never wore it. Hold on.
Let's see.
I subsequently found this one when I was just referencing with the mosh scene
Yeah, there you
Hell
go.
yeah.
on a beefy.
That was a flyer, right?
Yes, originally a flyer for a show with Killing Time and Mouthpiece. I think at Obsessions in New Jersey.
And then Killing Time did not play because Anthony's dad had a dream that he died in New Jersey.
Oh,
That is the rumor. Yes.
wow.
That's that good Italian superstition, that
Old
real
country.
Italian shit, dude.
Anthony Cominale, great dude. You know,
Legend.
friend of the band, amazing dude.
Absolutely.
We tell the story all the time, but Colin and I saw them. Well, you played, right? But we saw them in New York a couple of years ago. And in between songs, there was some technical shit. And Anthony was just talking about places he liked to eat in the neighborhood.
listing off restaurants.
But he was like deadpan. Just like, yeah, that place is pretty good. What else?
Yeah, the song would end. He'd be like, "Thank you." So Mario's on 31st. It was incredible, dude. It was it was 52 minute set of that between every block,
and then Killing Time songs. It was awesome.
Still got it.
He's I mean, how good is Killing Time? You know what I mean? Like
Top 5.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
his voice is just amazing. You know, like
Lyrics,
what a voice. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
look at his stage presence in the last show.
dude, he's pitting for an hour.
It's perfect.
yeah,
It's
He's
perfect.
floor punching.
Cargo
Yep.
pants, Vans,
Long
and
sleeve.
a fucking maybe a sick of it all, right?
Yeah.
It
Blood
looks like
sweat
it, yeah.
underneath a flannel. Like, come on, man.
Did you see that we saved that video?
Yes. And another thing that kind of gave me chills, like recently, I forget what page it was. It was your personal or if the HardLore was the ball thrower video.
Yeah.
That band to me is like,
It's the best one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is great. I wanted to. It mentioned somewhere in the book that before a show in '96, you were nervous. You were anxious about something. It was something going on, and Dave Murphy said that you were driving around. He was driving around with you in your car, and you were listening to Obituary and Morbid Angel to like calm down. So where did death metal and this like seemingly polar opposite end of the spectrum come from for you?
I've just always liked hard music. So the breakdowns, the raw deals, the Cro-Mags, right? Leeway, like that, end of the spectrum, right? So being from the shore, we had a good metal scene. We had Ripping Corpse. We had Revenant. Blood Feast was from New Jersey, right? You had these bands. You had New York City. You had, you also had Eric Rutan. Eric Rutan
Goat.
was from like a mile from where I grew up.
Yeah.
Really? Let
So
me tell
he
you
was
something. I did a tour with Hate Eternal real quick and Cannibal Corpse. And pretty much every day he would say, "I'm from Jersey, man. So we do it a little different." Like every single day. So finding out that you were that close that's incredible. He was
Yeah,
an
he's
He's from the
amazing
same
guy.
jersey as Eric Rutan.
Yeah.
He's second generation Ripping Corpse. Like he was later on.
Okay.
But like, maybe like third demo, like Dreaming with the Dead, right? That's his shit.
Yeah.
But amazing. So seeing Ripping Corpse, right? Like you're seeing Morbid Angel because they're playing together. Morbid Angel gets you listening to Deicide.
Yes.
Deicide gets you listening to Carcass. Carcass think about the mosh parts that Carcass has.
Brother, this is all we talk about.
This is
Like-
we've made a career out
Like,
of
like
this.
you know,
is
like
it.
I don't even know the songs. Like Like there's nothing harder than that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you're preaching
And
to the conductors of the choir.
and bolt thrower, I got
They're
War
number
Master-
one. That's
They're
it.
number one.
When did War Master come out? 90 or 91, right?
91.
I got it when it came out. I saw them in Pittsburgh when it came out. Didn't see them for funny Mark Porter story. Like World War IV is playing Austin. Bolt thrower hasn't played in 25 fucking years.
Chaos, right? Chaos and Chaos.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've waited 20 years to see bolt thrower. Oh, my fucking feet are killing. Let's go home. We just did. I never even stayed. I watched one song and split. I think I watched I stayed for No Tolerance and left. But then
Dude, never came back. You know?
No, till recently, right? They were just here, weren't they?
No, they're gone. They're done.
They're done.
2013 was their last U.S. tour.
Yep.
So, oh shit. So I got a T-shirt which I still have there.
And it was $10, I'm sure.
And it was $10. I was just gonna say that's right.
And they played at that outdoor hangar. I saw a couple songs and I split, but seeing them in '91 was amazing. Is there a better, harder band?
No,
100%.
They're literally
and one that evolved into a better band every time.
Now,
Yes.
were they hardcore adjacent? Those dudes?
They know what's up. They definitely know what's up. Based on small conversations I've had with Carl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if because obviously the punk ethos is 100% there.
Yes.
Like the $10 shirts and they kept it very DIY till the end.
Yep.
And at that show that you're talking about that we went to, while in those first few songs when we were allowed to dive, they were so happy.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh my God, this is perfect. Like people don't do this for us." Security stopped us, and the whole band's mood changed for real. They were
as corny as it sounds, that song and that description gave me goosebumps. I felt it. You know what I mean?
Opening with Fourth Crusade. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, you're gonna stand still.
There's no barricade. I'm doing quadruple backflips.
They're adjacent in a way that Napalm are, and maybe a band like Assuck was, who Floorpunch played with.
That's
Great
CBs.
segue.
Thank you.
Don't
At
remember.
CBs, which is
Insane, dude.
insane. And I love. There are many surprises in this story of Floorpunch, and this was one of them to me. Where I read the flyer 3 times. Is that right? Do you remember that at all? Do you remember how their set went?
I don't remember, but I think that Tyler King might have booked that show, and he was always, booking crazy stuff. But I didn't become an Assuck fan until a little later. That introduced me to them, but then I'm a fan. Great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't remember how it went, but I remember being interested. You know what I mean?
What was out? Misery Index was for sure at the time. Was Anti-Capital out?
I don't know. Mid-90s? Maybe.
I would give a finger or two to time travel to that one.
I'm trying to
See that
think.
show.
The shirt they were. I'm just getting trying to get a reference to what record was that. I remember they were selling shirts with the cover of the record.
Well, they're both nondescript black and white.
It was Misery Index.
Yeah,
Okay.
They were selling those shirts.
Okay.
I remember first getting into Assuck, and one of the first pictures I ever saw, and I had not been able to find it since, was when they had a standalone singer, and the dude was wearing a Youth of Today shirt. And it was just oh, well, everything is my favorite thing, and this is all one thing. It's perfect.
100%. Okay, by 1998, Floorpunch is a certified headlining band. And Fast Times at the Jersey Shore is right around the corner. Debut LP, only LP. What was writing for that like, and how? Somebody mentioned that demos existed for the LP. How extensively was it demoed?
Yeah, so that demo recording series was taped live in Albany as an audition for EVR.
Oh, cool.
Steve came.
And they liked what they heard.
He paid for it. It's a couple $100, I think. And we recorded it live. He actually, we were like, oh, that's good. He's like, no, we did it a couple takes. Some songs one take, but some we did it, worked on a few, like the newer ones. Yeah, that was basically our audition for EVR, the demo.
And you
the demo
passed.
tracks. Yeah, and there's also that one song on there that never even made it to the record, right? That dun 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 dun. We played that once as an intro at the Wetlands. I don't know if we ever played it again.
Wow.
You know what song? You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, we got to get that
listen.
back. You got to do a finished recording of that one.
Yeah, I mean that there wasn't much unreleased Floor Punch stuff. I think that was the only one.
That's
Okay.
pretty cool. How
Yeah.
was working with EVR?
They were great. I mean, we like Steve. He was. We had good relationships with him. We didn't. It was a different time. We didn't want anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just wanted someone to put our record out.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the time, we liked the pocket print on the shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Equal Vision logo was like the next best thing to Rev. You know what I mean? And we were into it. And yeah, I never had any complaints. Our records made it to Europe. You know what I mean? People were getting them. The posters were cool. Yeah.
Okay.
One of the standout aspects on this record is something Bo brought up earlier. King Shot's
Dude.
level up is immediately apparent. He's blasting. He's pulling out shit that like only a guy who's heard Ripping Corpse is gonna do.
Dude's a good drummer. He's a good drummer.
He rips, but it's like, dude, that 3 years from the demo to this is like, oh, this motherfucker has been drumming.
Yes. So he is like a craftsman. Like he wants to be better and constantly practicing. Kit always assembled, even to this day, like still rocking. You know what I mean? Like played some shows, did some stint with Underdog. The dude can play drums.
Saw that. It was a while ago now, but I saw him play for Underdog and killed it. It's the one style of Phil Collins. I know. You know what I'm talking about, but it's the that thing where it's
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, and like he does it a few times on the record, but it works. It's like the Floor Punch Phil, to like as an identity.
And then he throws in as a fucking quick blast thing. It's unbelievable every time, dude. It's such a without him. Like you're only as good as your drummer, any band. And god damn, he leveled up for this record.
And I'm laughing like because when we would play like "Gonna Get Yours" live or whichever, I think that's or Blondie, whatever it was called.
Right.
And during like when it's like the ring out, he'd be like he'd be doing something crazy every live show. You wouldn't know what you were gonna get. Like everyone would have to stop and kind of look because he'd still be going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a good kid, man.
So let me ask you something. Gambling. Was this something Floor Punch was into? Or was this a hyperbolic song put at the end of the record?
Oh, no, we were fucked up. Yeah. I mean, we were OG gamblers.
So going to AC, that was real.
Like literally, yeah, like any casino, riverboat, anywhere.
You loved them all.
Yeah, like, okay, like this conversation happened every show. Okay. Band money, pull it, roulette, one spin, let's go. Double it or we get nothing. Happened every time. Me and Zeusai were going to AC 3 times, like twice a day.
Okay.
We'd go to AC in the morning and go back at night. And like real degenerate shit. Like
you in a way you birthed me with Let It Ride.
I'm sure you've seen the meme that it's something along the lines of like Floor Punch put out one song in the mid 90s and now every motherfucker has a problem.
And and you gave birth to guys like us. You created many straight edge gamblers. Are you still a 50 on red guy?
I'm a blackjack guy. I think the 50 on red kind of just worked.
Yeah,
with lyrically.
So
I was never
hit on 8, hit on 17.
Yeah, it doesn't
hit the same. Yeah.
Hit on soft 17.
Yeah.
But we were big at the show gamblers too. Boston, degenerate gamblers. Like we brought that up there. Like the $500 coin toss is like urban legend between me and Ray Lemoyne. I won, he didn't pay. But $500 coin toss in '96 is kind of wild.
It's a lot. It's a lot today.
That's like $3,000 now.
Yeah, and so this is a great gambling story, and I just told this at the book event.
Hit me.
We're on tour. Our tour guy, manager, not driver, is like a sketchball, and we're just convinced he's robbing us. Now we get along with him. Don't get me wrong. Like we weren't like fighting with him, but he's kind of scummy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's constantly going to Jack Shacks, like disappearing. Like we think he's just spending our money. I'm like, all right, fuck this. Let's get this guy back. So our game of choice at the show was AC Doocy. Are you guys familiar with AC Doocy?
I'm not.
It's a game that can get elevated to high stakes very quick. So it's very, you get it. without boring the audience, you get a deck of cards.
There's a whole group of 28 to 35-year-old males right now salivating over what they're about to hear. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, like Josiah, he knows what AC/DC is. You know what I mean? Like, so
Sure.
we're that level here. So hit the cards, cut them. So now I'm stacking the deck because he's had a few, and I'm going to rob my money back. So AC/DC, what you do is there's a couple different ways to play. You flip over a card. If it's a high card like a face, right? You flip over a second card. Basically, all you're doing is guessing what falls between.
Oh, okay.
So ace first, deuce second is the high and the low, hence the name AC/DC.
Right.
Anything can be in between.
Yeah, so for you to win, if you flip a king and a deuce, anything from a queen to 3, you're going to win the pot. You follow me? But if you get a king or a deuce, you have to match the pot.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So, so you get people 10, 3. Everyone puts an ante in, so maybe $5 a guy, because like it game doubles very quick.
Whoa.
So I was stacking the deck and giving we were building the pot up, and we were sure he's putting our money in there. So I was dealing from the bottom of the deck, like king 4, pot. I bet pot. Up, ace, you lose. Just robbing our money back. But yeah.
Have you ever received confirmation that it was your money back?
No, but we robbed a lot.
Okay.
And we also set up a Floorpunch On Gold sale. He said, "No way you sell that record for $400." We had like some random kid, like, we'll give you like a T-shirt if you say you'll buy us for $500. And we bet him like $400. You know what I mean? And we set the whole thing up.
Genius.
Wow. Yeah. So the first time Harm's Way toured and hit a casino in Reno, we put 50 on red. It won. And now, if there's ever a casino within like that we can get to, the buyout or whatever we got from the show pretty much is going on a color.
Yeah,
It's typically red.
double or nothing, right? That's it.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Fast Times was recorded with Steve Evans the year after Satisfaction is the Death of Desire.
No shit.
It was mastered by Alan Duchess the year after Five Deadly Venoms. You got the dream team here.
How do we get that? Like I said, I'm not an artist or a musician. I had nothing to do with that process. That
had to have been EVR, right?
100%. I just remember Steve Ebbets was hard on me. It was vocals. Like, I did a lot of takes because I was used to not doing any. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, is that record good as a musician?
Yes,
is that record?
Yeah.
I'm not talking like material, like quality. It's good.
It sounds fantastic.
It sounds fantastic. The
It
performances
sounds like a
are
Steve
excellent.
Evans recording.
Yeah.
But he let it be natural and human.
A little raw. Yeah.
I remember we were there for a week, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember going up at nights. They were there during the day, but I was going after work.
Okay. Was he kicking their ass to get this thing tight or what?
Yeah, it was a lot of takes. I remember, like, he was a perfectionist. That's really all I remember. Yeah. What's he doing now? Where's he at? Is he?
He's crushing it.
He's still doing it.
He's doing like a lot of like regular rock shit, but he's a regular HardLore listener. He just did the new Dead Guy record.
Okay.
Sounds
Right.
fantastic. He mixed the first Eyes of the Lord record a while ago for me. Sounds amazing. Yeah, he's out there crushing it.
Yeah. It
Alan
sounds-
Duchess mastering fucking everything still.
How good is that Hatebreed record? Ooh.
It's the one. It's the chosen one.
Yeah.
What was it like witnessing their ascension in real time?
My distinct memory is us playing with them. Maybe at the Greek American Hall in Boston. It was us. I think I did In My Eyes, Death Threat, Floorpunch, Hatebreed.
Okay.
Maybe Reach the Sky. Mm-hmm. And I remember during the first title track? Was it Empty Promises? What is it?
Empty Promises.
Yeah.
And just looking at my environment, just being like, the room just fucking, how can you say? Like, it was just merch tables flipped. And this is a huge venue. And it was something to see, man. Like, and I always said, like, going in the bathroom, it just smelled like raw meat. There was so much blood in there.
Oh, yeah.
From that set. It was just bananas. And they were fucking so good.
The chosen ones.
You know, there's an interesting parallel where, based on when we had Jamie on, he and his friends got thrown out of a show for moshing, but he saw that there was a void. There was a want for hard music. Not too dissimilar from Floorpunch wanting to sing along and not sit on the floor. And that's an interesting, like, oh yeah, there was a void. This is what a group of people want to do. Let's just do it. And it worked. It's very interesting to me.
That being said, I would love to hear like a fuller version of Killin' Addicts. Probably one of my favorite songs.
It's that's what, a minute and a half or something?
Other than like the tinny drums and like that recording, you know what I mean?
We did it. I mean, God Save did it. You can check it out. It's pretty good. But tell me about playing with the Misfits during their initial reunion.
Did we play with them? Was that Alive and Well?
It was a fest, and they played the other day.
So we did not. We played at a smaller venue, but kind of like, think of like, you know, like a 2-venue fest. They played at the Asbury Park Hall, which is like probably like a 2,000 cap. We played at the Casino Skate Park, where it was like our record release was there.
Was that something you cared about? Like, were you a Misfits guy?
Yeah, I mean, I love the Misfits, but you know, I don't think I saw them that show.
Oh, okay.
No. But I was a fan, you know, those records, like, you know, we talked the other night, right? You know, about, you know, Earth AD it's just, to me, is just perfect. You know, the opening, like I was thinking when you were listening, ranking the tracks, like the Earth AD to me is just it. You know,
I mean, that's a hardcore record. That's
opening track, the scream, whoa. It's just, to me, it just blew me away. You know what I mean? I was just like,
and then you find out they're from New Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I had known that. Because I remember I went and saw, before that, I think I saw someone in Lodi, and we were just talking about that's where Danzig was from. And I think, you know, this was like after I'd obviously, this wasn't like early on, it was later on. I think I saw Nile in a little club in Lodi, and we were just talking about Danzig being from Lodi.
There's another hard band.
Yeah.
Suspiciously hard. Like, bro, I know you've heard Breakdown before, you know?
Yeah. Where are they from?
Egypt.
Perfect. Other than the obvious, yeah.
There's no other answer. I don't know.
I think they're British. Are they not British?
Egyptian.
I think by way of Egypt. Yeah.
But we were talking
a band we haven't talked about yet. And I'm just curious because when we called you for the bracket, you weren't the biggest fan of Turning Point.
No. The LP like is good, but the 7-inch is great.
Yes.
You know, like, I'm not a slap bass guy, and I think it's funny
that was the quote. Slap bass. That was the quote. That's right.
I think Ken or someone like DM'd me like on Instagram, yo, what's up with hating on the slap bass? It was one song. You know what I mean?
I like that it got to him. That's good.
No, love Turning Point. Saw Turning Point very early on. You know, demo era, great band. But I wanted to say, we were talking about like heavy music and stuff and like the Shore. So there was a weekend in 1990, and one day, a matinee in Long Branch, New Jersey, which is right at the Shore, ironically at a club called Murphy's Law, I saw Sick of It All and Outburst, and then drove up to Club A in Saraville the same night and saw Ripping Corpse, Biohazard, and Morbid Angel.
Holy shit.
What a day.
I mean, that's 5 of 5.
That's Mosher's delight.
Yeah. No pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah. It was,
wow.
That's what we're all about here on this show. Tell me about the legendary San Francisco Brawl, the iconic photos that came from it. Nazis show up to the Floorpunch gig. Break it down for me.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I speak about this, I'll just say, perhaps it's like, still to this day, fuck every Nazi, you know, fuck the right wing and fuck all that shit. You know what I mean? Especially in the scene we come from, that shit's not welcome. You know what I mean? That ideology. So I guess they had a problem out there with these skinheads, you know, coming to shows. And we had played a show, I think, with All Bets Off, and forget the name, Gyromite maybe.
Okay.
Sammy the Mick had booked the show.
R.I.P.
We were staying, Rip, amazing person who I met at that show and stayed in contact until he passed, you know, like, amazing dude. We were staying with Mikey Hoods, certified maniac, right? Crazy dude, like, treated us really well. It was awesome. I was hanging out in the van, and Bill Punch had gotten into a little scuffle with like an OBHC dude who was like kind of like out of his mind. Like, you know, there wasn't like any beef. It was like purely mosh beef, and it got squashed. And so obviously OBHC is not to be like trifled with, you know what I mean? Like, serious dudes. And like, so we didn't know that it was going to pop off. So we're playing, and we see out of the corner of our eye, like Sammy and Mikey, like breaking down like drum stands and like bats being passed around. And like, I'm saying like, all right, we're getting it on stage, I guess. You know, this dude came back with his boys, and we're going to get fucked up.
See.
You know, but then Sammy popped it off with that one shot, and then you
And
knew
somebody went, click.
yeah, then you knew what was going on. And basically the one of the bigger dudes was kind of like fighting right in front of us, and I just basically like lassoed him with the mic and just upside down the mic and just and Summers has an Outburst shirt on with brass knuckles, and Jeremy stomping the, it was amazing, the shots,
Iconic.
but yeah, we got, those, it was, any kind of like violent event, like we're across country, we just want to get the fuck out of there.
100%.
Literally change clothes and just unloaded as fast as we could and got out of there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
they got what they deserved. I mean, you come to a show picking on fucking kids, like they had one agenda and that was it. Like to ruin this show for kids.
Yeah.
They weren't there to watch the music. You know what I mean? So, California was interesting. You know what I mean? It was, that set the tone, the shows were cool,
And is this your only U.S. tour?
Yes. Other than like DC to Boston.
Sure.
Okay, so then on this tour, after this, you get to Southern California. Can you tell me about meeting a fellow named Todd Jones?
Oh, amazing kid, man. Like,
he loves Floorpunch.
I love him.
He really does.
I love him. Zach, Strong Intention, not Strong Intention.
Zach Nelson.
Zach Nelson. What band was he in?
In Control. Sorry.
In Control, yeah. And what was
yeah.
the later band he was in?
Retaliate.
Retaliate, yes. The dude from Strong Intention was from Maryland, but yeah, Zach Nelson. So him and Todd had like an apartment together. And I feel like Todd was 16, like already out of the house, and we stayed with them. And it was just like, like bros from the get-go. I think we played him straight ahead for the first time.
Whoa.
I think he said that on our show, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I think so.
That you were like, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this.
Yeah, you went out to the van and got it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were spreading the gospel, right? Straight ahead.
One of my favorite, I said this on the Todd episode, I don't know if you heard it, but it's one of my favorite stories was Nails played This Is Hardcore after show at Kung Fu Necktie. I think it was 2015. And Todd would not start the set until you got there because you were on your way. Really? And he was just on stage, just like, we're waiting.
I was, believe me, I wasn't like big league, and I was trying to get there.
Oh no, I know. The mood was immediately clear. It was perfect. It was awesome.
That venue was the size of this bedroom. Remember that place?
It was small.
And everybody understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody understood.
We gotta wait.
Well, I remember I was next to your brother, and I was like, "Why are we waiting?" And Taylor literally just went, "Porter's coming."
I'm such a dork. But
no, it was awesome.
I'm a Nails fan. I am.
You that's on record.
That's on record.
You're OG. I know. I saw it all.
Yeah.
The Floorpunch European tour.
Oh, talk to me.
1998. Tell me about touring Europe in 1998.
Like 60 shows in 20 days, right? Like, a show every day, like 35 shows.
Yeah.
A third of which are in Eastern Germany. This is like 10 years after the wall came down. So like, it's still gray over there. Like there was no color. You know what I mean?
It still is.
Just everything was gray.
Right.
Playing a huge hall to 10 people on a Wednesday night.
Perfect.
We played some great shows. Mm-hmm. We did not go to the UK. We stayed mainland.
Wow.
So it basically was like 2 shows in France, 60 shows in Germany, and like Scandinavia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Are there bands and cities that exceed your expectations at the time?
So having stayed and toured with Sportswear, I fell in love with Oslo. Dude, amazing
Sportswear
city. Sportswear is good. They sound the name is bad, but they sound like Bold.
Yeah, no,
Sportswear is good.
The name is just always blown my mind.
Main Strike rocks. There's some hitters.
You played with True Blue on that tour?
True Blue.
We did. We stayed with Kitzel. That's where I met Pat. We went to his apartment and just watched old hardcore VHSs, like as we should.
Dude,
True Corman, like the greatest Corman activity, right?
Yeah, that's what we do.
That is a thing. Like, truly, James from my band, one of the first things we did when we started hanging out was he played me the Final Mosh VHS that he had. You know what I mean? That is a lost thing that I actually truly miss. Obviously, YouTube is incredible and one of my favorite thing. But part of that is missing out on this. I've never seen this because there were only 20 of them or whatever, you know?
Yeah. And
Amazing.
tapes getting destroyed and shared, and the quality's always, what was the word? Buffering or whatever, you know what I mean?
The tracking.
Yeah, tracking. Yeah.
Well, dude, what's so cool is somebody reached out, and I'm sure he's listening to us recently, and sent us a 4K the highest quality rip of the Final Mosh video I've ever seen.
I need to get that from you. I don't think
we're gonna put it up on our channel if you're cool with that.
Go for it. Yeah.
Never before seen, and it looks insane. It's so clear. I can see all of your pores, and it's like a professional cam rip. I want to thank him so much for doing that.
No,
it will be up shortly after that.
Who taped it?
I don't know.
Don't know.
I will get all the information possible, and it will be listed in the description. It's from the Crow's Nest.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that was the day my wife graduated law school, and so that's why I was late, because I was coming from her graduation.
Wow.
And I actually left her in the pit like mid intro, and my buddy from high school was there. I remember he just like picked her up, and never been to a hardcore show, and like bear hugged her and just dragged her to the back out of the mayhem. She was in the middle.
It takes you forever to get up there.
Yeah. It was. I mean, what a send off, right? Come on,
dude.
Man.
It's the best. It's everybody's out of tune. It's insane.
Shit's getting unplugged,
and it's perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
To get there, I think does this European tour like kill you guys?
Yeah. Is it nail in the coffin or?
Yeah. So it kind of started. So what people want to say about Floorpunch is, like, our mission statement, like, we were friends, right? So we had like a deal, like, yo, if anyone leaves this band, we're just breaking up, because we're not going to jeopardize our friendship, because we're boys. So like, if that's why it was always, we had fill-ins on tour, but only because logistically the person really couldn't do it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm not going, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? Like Zeb was on tour with Endeavor. That's why he couldn't do the States, right? So, but yeah, that was like part of our deal. And, we had played across the country, America. My wife my girlfriend at the time was in the city, living by herself. We had just gotten 2 dachshund puppies, and like, we're getting ready to embark on this 5-week European tour. And I'm like, we're in fucking Arizona, like the Nile Theater, whatever. What's that place called?
Oh yeah, still there.
So it was like, I was like, fuck
underground
this.
or upstairs?
I think upstairs, big room.
Holy Lord.
Big room.
Yeah. And I was like, I want to go home. We're not going to be here for 5 weeks. So we were supposed to play back across. We just drove straight across.
Oh.
So I wanted the week off before I went away. So
yeah.
I mean, listen,
there, brother.
In Europe, we played some great shows, right? Den Bosch, right? The Milky Way, like, whenever those clubs were, they still around now? The club that drops the confetti or whatever. I think it was called the Milky Way.
I've never gotten confetti personally.
Was it Coney Island? Coney Island? CONNE Island. These clubs aren't even around anymore. But
maybe not.
We played
the confetti budget was out of control. They couldn't sustain.
That was like the club's deal. They would drop confetti while you were playing.
Sounds amazing.
So we played some great shows, but it was winter. We were eating terribly. Like, just,
of course you were.
Everyone was mad at Chris because I think he told them and the rider we were vegetarian, and he was the only one. So I love Chris, but that people were mad at that, and like people meaning me, and like probably only me. I was bitching about having cold feet and the van heat not working.
Yeah, of course.
We're in a Sprinter. It was cold. It was rough. A bunch of bad shows, and I think we just you're in a van. You guys know, for month prior, a week home, then 5 weeks. It's just what it was starting to wear in our friendship, and we didn't want that to happen. But there was another kicker too. I gotta be real. We had played a show in New Brunswick, and this is when Kill Your Idols was coming up. And different like genre, like it was hardcore punk, but more like Poison Idea, less like Youth Crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they blew us away. And I always being like self-deprecating, like, listen, I'm not going to go out like a sucker. This might be the writings on the wall that the band is over that show.
Oh.
Wow.
And that was it.
So Kill Your Idols was your echo brain.
Yeah. They were they put the nail in the coffin.
Kill
Your Idols is the future.
Yeah. No beef with them, it was changing.
Clearly you were impressed, and you're like, we got to stop.
Yeah. They killed their idols, truly.
Wow, unbelievable. I bought my Misfits bag from one of the guys in Kill Your Idols.
Oh, cool.
So that's cool.
And then,
But they killed Floorpunch, so what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Touring. Let's go back real quick to touring the U.S. and let's get the food discussion out of the way.
Yeah, because there's a whole section in the book on this. It's amazing.
What were you guys were eating good on this tour or what?
What did this say in the book? I didn't read the book. Is it coming from my mouth or?
Yeah, no, there's a paragraph. I don't remember who said it. It says, all I remember is food being a big topic. Like it was just like, what are we eating? Was just like a thing.
Well, you know, when we went to California, obviously we had to have In-N-Out, but it was every meal, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner at In-N-Out. We didn't even
How
think
was In-N-Out in 1998?
the burgers are delicious. I've never been a fan of the fries because I don't like shoestring fries.
Yeah.
It's not quite a shoestring. It's old fashioned potato, real cut, dude.
Call it whatever you want.
It's anti-Irish discrimination to say.
They're like crunchy. It's like Andy
that's
Cap's.
not
Like
good.
I'm not a fan.
They are kind of handicap.
The sauce is good, and then onions.
Sauce is good, and you cover the fries on that sauce, and you don't know what who cares what's going on over there.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, we like to eat, obviously, and
You ate a burger. You ate some huge burger after having eaten burritos earlier in the day for like a contest.
So
There's
that
a
was
picture of you guys.
Yeah, so that was in Boston at a place called Burrito Max that was right across the street from the Rat, and they had some huge burrito, and I ate it, and then we went to then we went to a place called the Eagle Deli, which was on Boston College campus, like Boston College Eagle, and they had a thing called the Godzilla Burger, which was a pound of fries and a pound hamburger, and I remember eating it and being like, when Homer Simpson's trying to gain weight, just like throwing the food in my mouth and it's just bouncing out. But I finished,
dude.
and then I did a middle finger with an X on it, with like in ketchup
on the plate. Yeah,
Clevo still has that picture because they hung it on the wall.
It's in the book.
It's in the book.
Took it. Yeah.
Wow.
Fantastic.
What a mistake.
So what was Floorpunch's number one stop of choice on this one single U.S. tour you guys did?
Aside from In-N-Out.
Shitty fast food, you know, McDonald's. King Shot's at McDonald's. King Shot keeps it simple. You know,
how else is he going to be able to play all them parts? You know,
he needs the sodium, the electrolytes.
Horrible fuel.
Yeah.
All right, so Europe kills you guys. Kill Your Idols and Europe together kills Floorpunch. What leads up to over a year later? It's like over a year until the last show, right?
Well, it's May of 2000, and we had come home in like February of 99. So yeah, or March. Yeah.
It's a big gap.
14 months, 15 months. Yeah.
So in those 15 months, what are the events that caused these discussions to start happening? The decision to actually end the band, that conversation, what do you remember from before the show?
So basically it was like radio silence with the band for those 14 months. You know what I mean? Like we were all like doing our own thing. And then, of course, someone being like approached us, maybe Tyler or like Rich Hall, I forget who was booking at the time, was like, yo, do you guys want to do a last show? It's just going to be 3 bands with Breakdown and Cro-Mags. Like, okay. Like literally one and two on my list of favorite bands, you know what I mean? Yeah. So when we got there and, you know, that show was just, it was bananas, you know what I mean? It was like a perfect, people like really make it sound better, even better than it was. Cause like I see how people like really are, the way they wax poetic about that show. Yeah. I mean, it was special, but you know, that was like what CBs was like, but even, you know what I mean? So for me, it was a good send off, you know, and playing with 2 of my favorite bands, like One Last Time.
So is it a universal group? Yes. Or is there a big deliberation beforehand?
No deliberation. Everyone was down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, this is the last show.
Yes. We're going to call it I think Jeff came up with like the Final Mosh name. He did the t-shirts on his own, like, you know, and that was it, you know, and we were cool after that. Like we left as friends. Like that show was like literally like hugging and like, there wasn't beef, but like, it was like the weight was off of like the tension of like tour and wanting like, you know, just.
Yeah.
But when do you find out that there was an edge break within the camp?
Before that.
Okay.
Before that. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like out in the open. It was like, don't speak, don't speak, don't tell kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Not the whole time, but you know.
Yeah.
You know, you'd always said, you know, there was the one guy where never really Xing up, you know what I mean?
Was there any thought about the last show being out of state? I know CBs was obviously an important, it was CBs, but was there any like, but we could do whatever venue closer to home, and that would mean more.
No, like no Jersey loyalty thing. We were like, you know what? CB's our favorite venue. Like we're glad it's there.
Okay,
Like
cool.
we loved like every show there we played was special. They always did great. You know, the sound was great. The myth, the aura.
Yeah,
You know, playing with those two bands there, it was just a perfect storm, like of how we wanted to go out. You know what I mean? It was amazing.
And then the set is what it is.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it's all time great.
yeah, I mean, that's a video I can still watch to this day, and I'm like, pretty cool. You know, what I
I'm
mean?
really
It
excited
sounds
for you
awful.
to see. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, that's just cameras. Cameras sounded like shit. You know?
yeah, right.
I mean, I think Bill gets whacked, like his headstock gets hit, and Zeus Eye's always fucked up. You know what I mean? And Bill's and so once Bill goes out of tune, I think everyone at one point they just stop and are looking at each other, right? I even think I said something on the mic like, "This
You
is
did,
you might know the songs or maybe not because we suck." You know what I mean?
Is there a soundboard recording from this show anywhere? Like, is there an audio version of this set somewhere?
Not that I've ever seen.
Mm.
No. And the banner disappeared at that show.
I'm telling you, man, that is awesome.
Dude, that happens. Someone out there has the Weekend Nachos banner. They stole it from me. It was mine.
Yep.
Shit like that. It bothers
They're
me.
listening right now.
I know they
Painting
are.
their face like the Joker in their bathroom.
Yeah, it's like a shower curtain somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
If anybody, for some reason, has a soundboard recording from the Floorpunch Final Mosh,
Yeah, that'd be good.
I've got this 4K restoration of this thing
Imagine.
that is in dire need of the audio being good.
Yeah, I'm excited to
Imagine
see
what
it.
we could do together, audio man. But I
Yeah.
can't wait for people to see that. So the show ends. You guys are hugging, feeling good, and you feel accomplished. You feel like, okay, well, I'm comfortable being done.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as like an artist or musician, right? That's the way you want to go out. You know, that we were on top. You know, because we might have even got the best response out of all three bands. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And we were just stoked, and I didn't get paid, didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, it just we wanted a proper send off because we knew how we'd gone out at that other show wasn't like the real like indication of what Floor Punch was. You know what I mean? So we were getting that send off was like we were happy with like it being done. And no one even wanted to do more. Like there was no like, hey, we just killed it. Let's play another show. It was like we just killed it. It was great. You know what I mean? That made me happy.
And you look around you at what hardcore is in 2000. How different is the landscape from 1995 to them? Do you feel like you're Batman in a way? You know, that like your job is done and the city doesn't need you anymore?
Well, you had like 2000, you had AN, right? They were coming around, right?
Mhm.
They were very big, and it was changing. I'm not sure when HopeCon came around, or not HopeCon. They were around then too, right? That was like HopeCon, AN, like those kind of bands. The Converge was always around, but hardcore, cynical, is kind of shifting towards that. You know what I mean? Which was fine. The Wes and those dudes were like legit hardcore dudes. All those kids. And they were like Floor Punch guys, and we were around. So, hardcore is always going to be great. You know what I mean? There's always cool shit going on. And we never felt like a Batman kind of thing, but I just think for us, it was just the way, we went out, we came in, you come into this world with nothing but yourself, you leave this world with nothing but, you know what I mean? Like we came in, we kicked it, and we split, and that was it,
You seem to have stayed in touch with hardcore. Did you take a sabbatical of any kind? Did you check out for a minute and come back or anything? Or were you always just ear to the ground on Soulseek?
I'm always, on LimeWire.
LimeWire, yeah.
I'm always ear to the ground. Like, I've been like being friends with like Justin and like, all the bands he's been in, DFJ, New York bands, the Boston bands. I'm always with Todd and Nails and, all these other bands, I'm always listening. Like even, bands today, cool shit going on all the time, But
Yeah, we got you on the Firestarter track. You're here.
Yeah, that shit was cool. Recording that was awesome.
Yeah,
it
was.
That made me like a little flashback, but
And you sound great on it.
yeah, I was stoked. Like I don't listen to a lot of music other than hardcore and metal. You know what I mean? Like I've always been like
Oasis.
Blinders. Yeah. Well, yeah, true. But like,
But that's it. That's
but
the
I
only
listen.
exception.
I listen to hardcore every day.
Mm.
Still, you know what I mean? Like I have my playlist and it just cycles through.
Did you do a Spotify rap today?
No, I'm an Apple Music guy.
Good for you. Good for you.
So
I am too. There's just because like that's my whole library is on Apple Music, so 99% of my listening goes on there. But I like to have both just to see what everybody's hearing.
Yeah, I do both. Yeah,
I've been on a very big Cure kick the last few years.
beautiful.
Like Bill Punch really introduced me to Disintegration.
That's
But like
that's the
it's
one.
amazing. But like I'm like deep tracks, like cuts. Like I'm really like fully immersed in the Cure like the last like 5 years.
Beautiful.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to post goth sport Porter. You know,
Yeah, that's
post
me.
sport goth Porter.
I still dress like a jock though. So
That's right. How many members of Floorpunch are still straight edge today?
3. Bill,
Yeah,
Chris, and myself.
That's a good ratio.
Good
Yeah.
ratio.
Zeus, I mean, you see his character arc in the book, like selling crack or like smoking crack to metalhead, like to straight edge. He's still edge, you know. Bill's still
Wow.
edge. Yeah.
That's what
Zeus,
you want.
yeah, Zeus is cool. He was a legit metalhead. You see his pictures?
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
awesome. He got the Wehrmacht
The
shirt
Wehrmacht
on
shirt, yeah.
in his
Yeah.
yearbook photo.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it's all about. What leads to the reunion in 2007?
We had no interest in playing, but a friend of ours was like kind of jammed up with like some family issues and any way we could help. Like even like all the shows early on were a lot of reunion, like a Joe Hardcore reunion. I mean, Joe
Yep.
Hardcore benefit, right, with Cold World, Robbie Red Cheeks. That was a crazy show. I think it was like Trash Talk. There's a ton of bands on that show. But we did it, you know, even like the last show we played was I think the Matt Summers benefit from Shark
Oh,
Attack, who got injured.
right.
We played that like 2 years ago. It was great, you know, and you know, I'm not saying we'll never play again because
It
I don't ever
just
wanna-
doesn't work that way. You
I
know,
don't ever want to play again. But like if someone were like jammed up and
Yeah.
I could help, then maybe like in that medium I would do it. You know what I mean?
do you not want to play with Floorpunch, or do you not want to play music?
Oh no, I think, you know, Floor Punch was cool and you know, I don't ever want to be like DFJ said to me, hardcore is a young man's game. And I respect that. And I'm happy with where my place is. And like, you see all these older guys embarrassing themselves. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? You know, I want to be able to go to a show and be like, oh, here's this clown. You know what I mean?
I think you have too much self-awareness to end up that guy. You know?
But
Yeah,
also,
that's-
as to my point, what I was saying before, like you've stayed plugged in, both eventually with doing World War IV. I remember you watched Harm's Way play at a United Blood, and we were all like, "Yo, that's Porter!" like behind the cabs. And you've always done a good job, is what I'm trying to say, of maintaining what you're trying to do. And so I think it's very cool to use this potential power that Floorpunch has, easy money, to only really use it to help and for good every once in a while, maybe. You know, I think that's amazing.
When liking more aggressive music and knowing the singer has a Floor Punch tattoo is obviously going to pique my interest. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, sure.
you know what I mean? So, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I like that style. So I'm down to check it out, you know?
When the World War IV demo came out, I think we released the song World War V the same week or month. And I loved the demo. And I was like, damn, they're going to be so mad. And
What if-
I had this fantasy that you guys were like, fuck this band immediately.
No,
And I understand if that was the case, you know?
not at all. Your song is that breakdown's much heavier than anything we did.
It's, you know, apples and oranges, kind of.
Yeah.
It's all
but,
fruit.
But I was a World War IV fan. I like that band.
Yeah,
It's an incredible band.
absolutely.
Yeah, it was cool. Those dudes are special musicians, you know?
Bring it back.
It's a young man's game. Can't do it. You know what I mean?
This is the fountain of youth. We're forever young.
True. It's true.
Hardcore has changed so much since Floorpunch, since its inception, since everything. What are your thoughts looking around today? What do you see? Do you like what you see?
You know, I do. I mean, I have a hard time believing how monetized it is. Like, I think that's cool for the bands who are like grinding and like make a living off it. Like, because,
Mhm.
you know, even like the bigger bands, when I was like, you know, with Floorpunch, you weren't making money. You know what I mean? Like, Sick of It All was always the banner for making and living off a band, right? Sick of It All can go to Europe and they're each coming home with 70 grand. You would hear these stories, right? You know, but they were
Right.
like the exception to the rule. I mean, I think it's amazing that like Turnstile, there's not a bigger band in the world, like relatively speaking, and they're
Like
hardcore
big,
dudes.
there's no cooler, more lauded rock band in the world than this hardcore band.
And they're hardcore kids.
Yeah.
Look, Brendan's still doing TUI, everything, I mean, it's crazy, I mean, I think it's amazing, bands like Drain, like Speed, like even stuff that's more abrasive to the ears, like Knock Loose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Heavy, abrasive lyrics. I'm not saying I think it's cool, but to me, a band like that can be as big as they are is pretty fucking amazing. Where this genre has come from.
It's
Absolutely.
objectively insane.
And don't get me wrong, when I even like to like spin it around, like when I hear like you talking to the dude from Knock Loose, and he talks about Floorpunch, I get a little geeked out by that too. Like, cause like here's this band like that sounds nothing like us,
Right?
but like know who we are. So I think that's kind of sick. You know what I mean?
It's just where we are now.
Well, guitar music has not been this big since the 90s.
Yeah.
So it's great. I don't care what it sounds like. I think it's a positive,
Who would Turnstile be in the 90s, like size-wise?
Size-wise.
Like, we're not talking like Alice in Chains or like...
Dude, they're like direct support on fucking Lollapalooza and shit, So it would be like Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains.
Yeah, maybe one of the grunge type bands.
So in the 2000s, early 2000s, rock music died because CDs died, So it's like, okay, we've got to make things that are cheaper to make. Let's get guitars out of there because that's expensive to record. Let's get real drums out of there because that's expensive to record. Now audiences are finally realizing that shit is not cool. And when they hear real drums, they hear real guitars, they go, oh, this reminds me of that thing that I love and that my dad loves so much. And we're there now. We're back. Bands are back. Artists are gone. I don't want to wear a shirt with just a guy's name on it,
Yeah.
I want a collective of motherfuckers who I know love the same shit that I love or are going to put me on to new things that I love. And I'm a child again when I find something new.
The live aspect and the showmanship of it too, you know what I mean? Like
half the battle.
You can't beat it.
The band is back.
That was beautiful, Colin. That was very profound.
Thanks, man. We're gonna keep it there. All right. Before we wrap things up here, we've got some questions from our Patreon members. We're gonna hit you with. Let's scroll through these here. This is a great question from Dylan Reed. We just might or time to forgive?
We just might every day, all day. Yeah.
That's it.
Outstanding.
Remember said Floorpunch is we just might, Mouthpiece is time to forgive. That was my analogy even back then. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Wow. Let's see here.
Great question, Dylan Reed. Good
Great
Lord.
question, Dylan. Outstanding. Andy Tuck asked, what were your favorite smaller scenes to play shows in Floorpunch's heyday?
Smaller scenes. So we didn't travel that much. Like we were like DC to Boston for like 90% of our career. But I thought like the Allentown, like outweighed that scene, like the Reading, Pennsylvania, like where the Rancor guys were from was always cool. But it's a tricky question because we were basically Boston, New York, Jersey Shore, DC. That was it. You know what I mean? Virginia Beach. There, I can say that.
There you go.
Virginia
Absolutely.
Beach, we played there 2 or 3 times and they're always amazing.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Good answer.
Jesse Dampolo asked, this is fun. You're drafting a football team from 90s hardcore band members. Who's at the top of your draft board and what positions are they playing?
90s hardcore?
Yeah.
I think Josta would be like the GM of the franchise.
Dude, that's actually genius.
We're running this play.
All right. No. So Rob Lind would be the coach.
Great.
Wow.
All right. We would have, who would be I'm going to pick one more position, a quarterback of 90s hardcore. Maybe Jesse Stanhard.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's
Love
awesome.
it, dude. One of the other football guys.
Yeah.
Sports core.
Yeah.
Great answer. Great team. Going to the Super
all the
Bowl,
way.
surely.
Speaking
yeah.
of, Mark, who do you think we're going to have in the Super Bowl this year? If you had to pick.
I'm unhappy with the Eagles right now because I don't know what's going on. But I think they can turn it around. So I'd like to say they could make a run, but I was really high on the Rams until they lost this week to Carolina. I don't believe in the Patriots because I think
Really?
they have a soft schedule and they're just beating up bad teams.
Okay.
But the AFC is kind of weak, so maybe the Colts from the AFC, Colts, Patriots, NFC. I would like to say the Eagles, but I'm a little skeptical. I think I think the Rams could get it together. Detroit showed weak. Green Bay, everyone's losing. It's wide open. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you somebody. I'll tell you somebody in the NFC North who ain't losing. The Bears, baby.
It's true.
They're doing pretty good. And we got Green Bay this Sunday. So my girlfriend and I, my girlfriend's from Green Bay, we're a house divided. It's a big one. So
it's awesome. I mean, you can't hate the Bears either, right? Even as an Eagles fan, like they just beat us, but I have no hate for the Bears. Like original franchise.
When I got back into it, or when I got into football at all, I just picked the Eagles because I liked Philadelphia, and I just picked the Eagles, and then they won. So I've been very high on the Eagles for a while.
I would say as long as the Chiefs aren't involved in any way, we're all going to be.
We're all winning. The Chiefs or the Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah. Hate them both.
Hate them both. Nicholas Koch asks, favorite Oasis song, and do you claim responsibility for introducing Oasis to the hardcore community?
I do claim responsibility. I like Slide Away, Acquiesce.
Those are the two songs that got me into the band.
Talk Tonight. I mean, there's
I want to talk tonight.
I mean, those, you just picked like the three heads picks,
But like Supersonic, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Like just rock and roll, right? I'm feeling Supersonic.
Are you a big Be Here Now guy?
Yeah. Yeah. Other than what's the Hindu Times? What's the other one called? The later one?
The Hindu Times, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the one with Hindu Times on it?
Yeah, which record is that?
Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. Is it that one?
Forget that one. I'm not all over.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, my wife and I saw them in like 200 cap venues. We were fans from the jump. You know what I mean?
I really love. I mean, aside from loving Be Here Now, the demo version of the record with the program drums and Noel singing the whole thing is unreal.
You made me listen to their was it the MTV Unplugged?
Dude.
So good.
One of the biggest musical flexes in history.
Yeah, straight up, just like, yeah, all right.
My brother's sick, so I guess I'll just fucking.
And he's sitting up
he's
there.
right there. Yeah,
he's heckling him.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
It's the coolest.
It's so cool.
And what showman, man? How good were they? Like the show was just amazing,
dude. The fucking production with the backdrop and the colors and all this shit was unreal.
Yeah, we were front pit, like right in the front, dead, like the closest you could be to the barricade. And I just found myself jumping. I'm just jumping with strangers, having the best time,
Yeah,
it's not something I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, I mean,
great picks.
I love like the cockiness, the arrogance. They're just perfect,
They know what they got.
It's as cool as it gets.
Yeah, agreed.
Connor McLaughlin asks, how did you introduce your kids to hardcore, and what role has it played in your relationship as they've grown up?
None of them are hardcore heads. They know that their dad was in a band, but like I laugh because my son will be sitting in the car and I have like my playlist on, like it'll be like Bolt Thrower, Brotherhood, whatever it may be. And I was like, let me turn this down just a little and be like, all the way down.
What do they like?
Yeah, what are they into?
My son is into like just rap. My middle daughter is into like bad rap. And my older daughter, she likes good music. Like she likes like Casey Musgraves, Lana Del Rey, Oasis. Yeah. Like she's got it going on. But the younger ones are into like what the kids like,
Yeah, for sure.
Sad.
Yeah,
they may come around. It's not.
Yeah, they may come around.
Lost cause.
Yeah, I got you. What do you think, Porter, is the greatest straight edge band of all time?
All right. So I'm gonna say Youth of Today. I mean, obviously, you can say Minor Threat, right?
Can you?
People can.
Yeah. Okay, people can, sure.
But that's just basically, because of the song and, I mean, the tracks for sure, but.
Yeah, but I just think, with all due respect, I love them so much. I love every song.
Yeah.
If you denounce the movement, you're out of consideration,
Yeah. I mean, Youth of Today, man,
What are you going to do?
That's it. That's it.
This?
Yeah.
The logo?
That, yeah.
Yeah, everything.
Come
The
on,
the
dude.
t-shirts,
The
the look, the
t-shirts,
moshing.
the 88. Come on.
I was just watching it today. Like, it's funny you say that. I was watching the Youth of Today video from '86 at CB's. When your friends give you slack and your parents give you slack, or when he says, just get off my
dude.
back.
So fucking cool. And that I think Slapshot, no, that was 89, but they opened for Slapshot at CB's, and Choke had been very vocal about like, positive. What is positive? I don't want anything to do with this. That's not for me. I'm not here to be friends. I'm here to do us. And they play In Your Face. All of Youth of Today is diving.
Oh, yeah.
So they didn't give a fuck. Loved it.
Slapshot had a cool take on straight edge. For
Big
sure.
time.
Yeah.
And you said you read the lyrics to Can't Close My Eyes, and you decided you were straight edge.
Yeah. That
So
record.
that's the perfect answer.
Wow.
Yeah. Perfect record. Give me the worst question.
What did the floor ever do to you?
That's not it. I don't even know what to say.
You know? What do you like? Come on. Brad from Firestarter just wanted to say thank you.
Oh,
Appreciate the offer.
That's my fucking
nice.
guy, dude. That's my nephew.
hey, how about No Warning when they asked you to do the bust?
Yeah, it was easy. They did it in Brooklyn at Dean's studio, and I was living in the city. I hopped on a subway right over and did it. I'd met
How
them.
many takes?
One.
Okay. All right. Just had to be sure.
All right, this is the last question, and it is dumb, but I think it's funny. So this will be the last question before we do our real last question. As the definitive face of New Jersey straight edge, does vodka sauce get the pass?
Yeah, because I think the alcohol burns off, right?
Yeah, it's not even in there.
Yeah,
Just
so-
eat.
Ridiculous, ridiculous concept.
Ridiculous.
Of course it does.
Yeah, but I have done some weird shit though. Like even with these Shirley Temples that we bought for Thanksgiving, my wife made a mistake and bought whiskey soaked cherries. Now there's probably no alcohol in there, but I didn't partake in the cherries. I mean that's kind of weird.
Sus, dude.
I mean, if I had the option to opt out, yes, I would. But for me, it always comes, what's the function? Do you know how many cherries you would have to eat to get even a little?
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
it's just weird for someone my age to even think like that. Like why?
Yeah.
Sure.
But I did think I didn't eat them, but that's just I don't know.
I wouldn't eat them either.
You know.
Hey, did I? Something we do ask people before we get to the last question. This is a quick one.
Hit me.
We had the idea to do an episode on September 11th this year of where were you on September 11th? Because certain like Biohazard put out a record, Slayer put out a record. You know, we had answers. I had heard a rumor that you worked at the World Trade Center, or is that false?
No, fact.
Fact.
So if you look in the annals of baseball, the Yankees played the Red Sox on September 10th at Yankee Stadium. The game was a rainout. I was there with my wife and some friends. We stayed around till like 1, 2 in the morning. I had landlined my boss, right? Or cell phone. I forget. We had cell phone, no text, cell phone. And say, hey, listen, I'm in the Bronx. It's 2 in the morning. I'm not coming to work tomorrow. So, full transparency. I worked in 4 World Trade, which was it was a 8-story building at the base of the trade center. So they were destroyed. The towers fell and crushed them.
Yeah.
But that being said, the only, I would have lived.
You would have made it out.
But the trading floor that I was working on, like 30 people did die because they were at Windows on the World for a Dean Witter breakfast.
Whoa.
Fuck, dude.
So we did have a lot of losses. So Mark Matroni, was right next to me, like in my booth. His brother was Sasso, who played on the Enforcer demo.
Whoa.
Small world, right?
Yeah.
His father died that day, So yes, I did work. I have a World Trade Center ID. I was in the towers every day. I took the PATH train, up to into the World Trade Center. But yeah, I called out sick. My wife actually woke me up and she's like, yo, you're not going to believe what's going on. So what I did was I'd moved home when I lived in the city from like 96 to 99. Then I moved back 96 to 2000. And I moved back right after 9/11 to 04. There was a year of 9/11. I lived back down at the shore because I was getting married. And I went to a ferry terminal by my house. And I was like, if we see anyone from my work, because a lot of people then we know if one guy made it out, They probably all did. And the first guy off the ferry was my dad because he worked at the stock exchange. I didn't even recognize him because he was looking for me when the towers fell, like a block away.
Holy fuck.
So the towers fell. He was in Zuccotti Park, hid behind a planter, got all fucked up, bleeding, like white. He came off the boat. I didn't even know it was him because he was so like blood, like on his arm, his face.
But he sees you, he clocks you right away.
Yeah, and then I drove him home to Spring Lake. Yeah, it was crazy.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
I did work there, and I did call out sick, and I did have survivor guilt.
Yeah,
Just talking to the guys who I'd worked with every day since '94, as they were like walking over the Brooklyn Bridge to go to wherever just to get out of the city. You know, it was crazy. You know, I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Dude,
So that's
unreal.
a long-standing legend. Thank you for
it's true.
That.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing. I'm glad you're still with us. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, like,
and,
you
and
know.
glad your dad made it out of there. Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, all right. The time has come. We need you to send this off right by sharing Mark Porter's top 4 hardcore records of all time.
Okay, so I'm gonna go Suicidal Tendencies, self-titled.
Wow.
Circle Jerks, Group Sex.
Wow.
Age of Quarrel.
Okay.
And I was thinking about this today. I really wanted 5. But I'll go Victim in Pain.
Beautiful. There you have it.
Little East, Little West.
Now that's hardcore, right? But don't get me wrong. Like Sleep Jerusalem is probably one of my most listened to records of my whole life.
Oh, I've seen you post that before. You are a big sleephead.
You're a fascinating guy.
Sleepyhead.
Love it. Saw them in the 90s. Had the record when it came out. Love them. Yeah. But,
you're the only guy at the show with spiked hair, blue jeans, and a non-black shirt, probably.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. There we fucking have it, man. What a chat we've had.
Yeah, it's been great. I appreciate it for having me
3
on.
hours.
Oh man, thank you so much.
Flew by. Thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome, guys. Appreciate it.
Any last words to sign off with, to leave the people with?
Hardcore's cool, man. You can age out and still check it out from the outside, and you still see what's going on, and it makes you proud to know where you came from. You know what I mean? That people are still into it and still checking it out. And everyone, you know, who's bought this book and like still like makes me relevant, it's just greatly appreciated. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Cool to see.
Beautiful.
You can listen to the entire Floorpunch discography on streaming. Twin Killing is a collection of the demo and the 7-inch. Fast Times at Jersey Shore, their one and only LP, 16 songs. And it's like 18 minutes. So don't worry, you got time. Unbelievable band, unbelievable legacy. Shining Life Press, Floorpunch No Exceptions book. Everything we've talked about today is covered in here a little bit. Sometimes a lot of it from various other accounts. So you've heard Porter's take on stuff today. There's many other points of views in here. All the ops are in here.
It's my favorite aspect of the book.
100%.
It's genius.
A lot of ops in there.
A lot of ops in there. So you can hear what they say. Porter, thank you so much again for joining us.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
You're the best. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Listen to Floorpunch. Get the book. Bye.
Take care.
This episode is brought to you by Mad Vintage.